Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, small law firm in central Minnesota. And how are you guys doing today? Yes, it is Wednesday. Yes, I am late. You know the rest. We are, oh boy. We have got a little bit of a show for you this evening. I hope you guys are up for a show. You know, it's an interesting day, I guess. We've got Derek Chauvin being charged with 9 counts of tax fraud and evasion. This is just Minnesota taxes. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go. We've got one of my favorite developments of the day. We have got Toye returning to Twitter. And we are going to definitely look into that. And I am not going to sit here like some sort of self-indulgent, self-righteous monster and sit and claim victory for Ron Toye's return to Twitter. But I am going to do one thing. I'm going to say, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm taking all of the credit for him coming back. And so we're going to look at that today. And then, I don't know, whatever else you guys want to talk about. I don't know if you guys need... I don't know if you guys are interested in any particular stories or anything like that. But there's some stuff going on in the world. I do have to give a very sad update. Sad to me, and I assume sad to many of you. Although many of you will say, I told you so, and yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Because some of you are prescient, psychic monsters. And that's fine. But DSP has postponed the show. He had mentioned potentially coming on Thursday or Friday of this week. He is unable to do so. So I am hoping that maybe next week we can get him on the show. But it's really too bad. I'm kind of bummed about it. But c'est la vie. That's how it goes for now. We'd had such a good and promising talk, but I'm hoping, he didn't say I'm not going to come on your show because I don't like you or anything like that. It was, he gave me some reasons, and they're good reasons. So we'll see. Hopefully, he will come on next week or something, but we'll see how that all goes, I suppose. Genghis Khan, he did not pull a Preston. First of all, he had not hard confirmed a specific day. Preston's a master of the hard confirm. He had not hard confirmed a specific day, and further than that, he did not back out on the same day, 2 hours before, by a weird tweet. He directly told me that he was unable to come on the show and gave me, again, I'm not going to share them because it's our DMs, and I don't, there's no reason to violate that privacy, but he did give me some reasons, and they're fine reasons. I have no problem with it. So I hope it's just a temporary thing and he is able to come on next week or, the next week. I don't care. Because I'd like to talk to him. I think it'll be an interesting discussion. But if he's unable to, he's unable to. So we'll see. Oh. Anyway. So that is my sad and depressing news for the day. But, I don't know, guys. What you got? What you want? What you want to talk about today? Someone sent me a thing about the Disney terms of service. I did see that email, and I could maybe look at it. It didn't look like a long, it did not look like a long question, really. Hold on. Sorry. I'm just checking something real quick. Okay. Oh, guys, it's fine. Free speech has not been canceled according to Vox. Not Vox Day, Vox the publication. So anyway, we are going to, I'll start it in just a minute. We'll get into the Derek Chauvin tax situation. And then we'll discuss Ron on Twitter. There's some other developments in Derek Chauvin's case that are also interesting. I put out a short video on the Derek Chauvin tax situation today. If you want to watch it, fine. You're going to get most of that info though here on the live stream, and there's going to be a lot more to hear on the live stream. That's just an 8-minute primer on Chauvin getting the tax charges. Just wanted to kind of let people know that news. If they're not going to catch this show, then they could get it on the short. But we're going to go through a much more thorough breakdown of it. We're going to look at the probable cause statement. And the probable cause statement is a good publicly available way to see what led to the charges. Like, right, okay, they didn't pay taxes and they got charged. Like, well, how did this happen? Who's involved? What do they think? And it lets us gauge. How do I say this? We can just evaluate the charges on our own based on the facts that they have, at least at the onset. Now, of course, there are admissibility issues and all of that stuff that they would have to run into for a full criminal trial. But this gives us a pretty good idea of what they're basing the charges off of. And so that'll be, I don't know, maybe it'll be interesting. Maybe I shouldn't say that'll be interesting. I'm interested in it. So I hope you guys will be interested in it as well. All right. So the other thing in Derek Chauvin's case is here. And this is kind of interesting to me. Again, kind of interesting to me. We've got, oh God, there's just no way this is going to fit nicely. There we go. Minnesota judge lifts gag order in George Floyd case. Discuss release of body cam footage. So the judge here agreed with defense attorney's argument that a gag order would be unfair to their clients and limit their ability to defend against negative publicity. And it's not just a lawyer's job to defend what's going on in court, right? You are a zealous advocate for your client, both in court and out of court, and that has a lot to it. In this case, the defense attorneys, these aren't the defense. It's not the defense attorney for Chauvin. It's defense attorneys for some of the other cops have said that, these body cam footages make our clients look better. We want them released. We don't want it gagged down. And we certainly want to be able to talk about this because our dudes are getting dragged through the mud here. So we want to be able to have a discussion in public about this stuff. And the judge has to have a compelling reason to have a prior restraint on speech of these attorneys. And it's strict scrutiny tests here. So if you don't remember, I've talked about this a couple times, but strict scrutiny is a compelling government interest and the most narrowly tailored, or a restriction that is narrowly tailored to achieve the compelling government interest, or the least restrictive means possible to achieve the compelling government interest. So we here would have a prior restraint. You can't talk about and then it's a subject, or I guess content-based discrimination, content, and the content is the trial. So, or any of the information about the trial. So that is content-based. It is viewpoint neutral, but content-based. And then, so then they still have to go ahead and overcome strict scrutiny. That compelling government purpose plus the least restrictive means necessary to achieve that purpose and not interfere with any other rights. The judge has given the purpose. Oh, excuse me. Whoa! I've had a long, fatigue-filled day. The judge has given the purpose, and that is to preserve an unbiased jury pool. Yes, you heard me. No, I'm not a joke. Or I'm not joking. I am a joke. You know what I mean. No, I'm not joking. I'm not making a joke. They're saying that the dash cam footage, or the judge is concerned that the dash cam, or not the dash cam, the body cam footage of the officers would potentially taint a jury pool. Let's get with the most logical problem with that statement. Okay? The most logical problem with that statement is any jury is going to see that footage. As part of the trial, they're definitely going to raise that footage. It's going to happen. So, I don't know, like, oh man, if we just show evidence that'll definitely be used in court, that'd be an unbiased jury. Wait, or that would bias the jury pool. Come on now. Come on now. So that's a silly reason. So they're arguing about it here. So a Minnesota judge on Tuesday lifted a gag order in the criminal case against 4 former officers charged in the death of George Floyd, but said he would take under advisement a News Media Coalition's request to make body camera footage more widely available. So he lifted the gag order. The attorneys can now talk about it, but now they're talking about the body cam footage being made available to the public. In announcing his ruling, Hennepin County District Court Judge Peter Cahill said he agreed with defense attorneys' arguments that a gag order would be unfair to their clients and limit their ability to defend against negative publicity. Cahill also said the gag order wasn't working, adding that certain parties were attempting to tiptoe around the order, and some media outlets spoke to anonymous sources. But let's be real on this. There should not have been a gag order in the first place. Like, judge, stop it. Stop. Why are we gag ordering the attorneys in the case? Why are we doing that? That's ridiculous. No gag orders. Transparency. Free speech. It doesn't hurt the jury pool. There's no protected interest that really legitimately matters here. Don't have a gag order. That being said, Cahill did. The judge said attorneys would still be subject to Minnesota court rules ruling to pretrial publicity and professional conduct, which are, do you guys care about the rules? The rules basically say, don't make an ass of yourself during the scope of public representation of the public lawsuit. I mean, that's about it. Prosecutors are the ones who have to be real careful here, because prosecutors cannot be out saying things that would implicate the state in some sort of way. But, all right. So also on Tuesday, Cahill ruled that he would not hold the lead prosecutor in the case, Attorney General Keith Ellison, in contempt of court, as 2 defense attorneys requested. So you can already tell that there's some, they're gonna be defending this hard, Pitbull style. They're asking for Keith Ellison to be held in contempt of court. Cahill determined that a statement Ellison made when he announced that additional attorneys would be assisting the prosecution was innocuous and did not violate the gag order. So there was some sort of gag order on the case. And then Ellison said, yeah, some other attorneys will be assisting working on it. Then they wanted contempt of court for violation of the gag order. Judge says, nah. Floyd, a black man who was handcuffed. Oh, he was black? May 25th, after Derek Chauvin, a white police officer, all this race stuff, pressed his knee against Floyd's neck for nearly 8 minutes as Floyd said he couldn't breathe. Chauvin is charged with second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. 3 other officers who were at the scene, Tu Tao, Thomas Lane, and Jay Kung, are charged with aiding and abetting both second-degree murder and manslaughter. All 4 officers were fired. Police body camera videos were filed with the court this month by Lane's attorney, Earl Gray, as part of a request to have Lane's case dismissed. Gray said he wanted the videos to be made public, prompting Cahill to issue the gag order barring attorneys and parties from discussing the case. Oh, damn. Cahill made the videos available for in-person by appointment viewing only. Lita Walker, an attorney for the News Media Coalition, which includes the Associated Press, and Gray, so Lita Walker and Gray, both argued Tuesday for wider dissemination of the body camera footage. Walker said making the footage widely available would not further harm the court's effort to impanel a jury because the public already has access to bystander video transcripts of the footage and reporting by press who watch the videos. Yeah, if you're going to get a tainted jury pool, the body cam footage is not going to further taint it. Milan Malajek asks, how can a person be charged with 2 different types of murder? Wouldn't that be a form of double jeopardy? No, being charged after your case was fully disposed of for a crime with substantially similar elements would be double jeopardy. Being charged with multiple crimes related to the same event, but based on different circumstances, is just a way we do chargings all at once. So rather than charge them with murder, no, they're off of murder. Okay, charge them with manslaughter. Okay, they're off of manslaughter. Okay, charge them with felony assault. It's a matter of efficiency. But double jeopardy is not so simple as getting charged twice for the same event. It's got to be the same criminal act. So in this case, manslaughter and murder it's technically possible for them to coexist in the same act. And but in this case, it's merely a matter of efficiency of, look, if they're not guilty of murder, then maybe guilty of manslaughter. And the trick on the murder and the manslaughter is they charge at the higher level, but the lower levels are included as lesser included offenses. So they've charged murder 2, but they can also make the case on murder 3, even though it's not part of the charging document anymore. Murder 3 is a lesser included offense to murder 2, and they can still convict on murder 3, even if they don't convict on murder 2. So, and the same thing for manslaughter, if they've got second-degree manslaughter, third-degree manslaughter would also be a lesser included offense. So I hope that helps. Nikki, can we shit on walls tonight? Look, only if you wear a mask. Only if you wear a mask, then you can. Okay, back to it. The case has international interest. To expect every member of the media to fly to Minneapolis to schedule an appointment during quarantine is a de facto sealing, Walker told the judge. And that's a good point. But it just shouldn't have been sealed. It shouldn't have been by appointment only in the first place. If it's public, release it. If it's not public, give us a reason and don't release it. Speaking to reporters after the hearing, Walker said the Media Coalition's view is that there's a lot of stuff already out there. Oh, excuse me. And the public is entitled to a complete picture. The media can only report a full story if it's able to see everything and talk to both sides. Gray argued in court that the news media has been unfair to his client and body camera footage would clear up some misrepresentation. He said the body camera footage shows Floyd stuffed counterfeit bills in his car seat and put drugs in his mouth. Regarding the drugs, Gray said that's probably why he died. Which would be big if true, right? 2 AP writers who viewed the body camera footage at the courthouse last week did not see Floyd put drugs in his mouth, as Gray described. So that's the question, right? Like, that's a huge question. If George Floyd crammed a bunch of fentanyl in his mouth as the cops were arresting him, it matters. It matters. It's a lot different than if he was already on fentanyl and not dying when they showed up. But if he puts a bunch of drugs in his mouth and then starts to go into something, well, suddenly we've got a whole different story on our hands. But the AP writers, and that's, I believe, and I didn't see the drugs being shoved in the mouth mentioned in any of the accounts that I read. So we're relying again on people who are not necessarily full brokers of the truth, right? If he put drugs in his mouth, I want to know. If he didn't put drugs in his mouth, I want to know. Do I think that Earl Grey may be lying? Well, he might be. Yeah, very possible. So we don't know what the truth about that is. We have two conflicting stories. So that's why, that's right there. That's enough to release a video. Assistant Attorney General Matthew Frank argued for the prosecution that releasing the body camera footage could have a negative impact on impaneling an impartial jury. The issue of whether audio and visual coverage of the trial will be allowed was also discussed at the hearing. Defendant's attorneys made no objection. Frank said prosecutors will weigh in on that issue by day's end Monday. So that's that story right there. That's that story. But that's it's pretty interesting to see, like, that there was a gag order put in place. They're now talking about releasing the body cam footage. I hope they do. I certainly don't want to see it a year from now. And that's what we get so often in these officer-involved fatalities, is there's a lot of footage that's being taken now that all these cops are wearing body cams. You've got dash cams. You might have some shoulder-mounted cam on one of the guys. You know, you never know exactly what's out there, but there's a lot more footage than we're typically seeing, and this stuff gets released later. And I can't help but think of the Daniel Shaver killing, which, if you don't remember, Daniel Shaver was killed in a La Quinta. He was shot by a police officer very close range with an AR-15 style weapon, and he was shot allegedly because his hand went to his waist. Now, the reason his hand appeared to go to his waist was to pull up his shorts, because the cops had issued so many confusing orders that he's walking around on his knees and his shorts and pants are falling off. So, you know, he reaches down to his shorts and then bam, he's put to the ground. That footage wasn't released for well over a year after the guy died. Well over a year. So why were they holding on to it? And that police officer was not charged, by the way. Should have been. All of the police officers involved, well, at least the shooting officer and the officer yelling commands in Daniel Shaver's death should have been charged and convicted, in my opinion. In my opinion. But that's me. I'm a salty asshole. But anyway, that video footage should have been released immediately. This is the state killing someone. Even if it's justified, we should have full transparency. Full transparency. Yeah. Phantom RA Cast says, worse, the officer that shot him was rehired so he could get a medical pension for the PTSD he got from murdering Daniel Shaver. So, yeah, there you go. So, fantastic. Good work, guys. Thanks. This is why transparency is important. All right. Yeah, he was rehired. He was rehired. It's one of the... And you know, both the officer and the shooter and the shootee were both white in that one, so it's not was not a big racial story or anything like that. But yeah, that's what happened. It's a real mess. Okay. Let's look at this. Let's look at this criminal complaint for the taxes. Someone said I looked really sleepy. I am deathly tired. Franco Miranda says apparently McGivney's lawyer was Evan Stone, Funimation's lawyer. Yep, he was. Pretty interesting, you know. But I mean, that's what lawyers do, right? You represent the party that you're representing. So, whoa. Oh my goodness. I guess I'll leave it at that. We'll leave it here. But yeah, the McGivney case is pretty interesting. Okay, if I didn't cover this, my brain is mush. So if I didn't talk about this, I think I talked about it last night, but I want to, if you weren't here for last night, I wanted to update you on the Vic situation as far as the appeals court panel goes and the lack of oral argument, because I first announced the other day that oral argument was denied in this case, and there was some speculation about what that might mean. I believe I cautioned people to say that, you know, it doesn't indicate one way or another way. It just indicated to me that maybe the judges had determined they had all that they needed to make the decision. But let me reiterate, as was discovered by Non-Transferable on the Kiwi Farms, the past 30 requests in the Second Court of Appeals, Tarrant County, Texas, the past 30 requests for oral argument have been denied, and the last oral argument they did was something like February 4th of this year. So it appears to not be related at all to the case, but it appears to be related most likely to COVID concerns. That the Second Court of Appeals in Tarrant County is just not doing oral arguments. So there is, it's not like indicating anything about the case at all. So there we go. So we'll have to see, but yeah, to anyone out there trying to make a big deal out of the oral argument thing, if they have not heard, you may want to just let them know that Second Court of Appeals in Tarrant County is not doing oral arguments right now. So, I mean, if you want, I wouldn't use it as an argument piece or anything like that. But if people are confused as to why, that appears to be the reason. All right. Where are we? Oh, you know the worst part? Let me just pause for a second. The worst part about no oral argument is I can't go and watch the hearing. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, I left the address, but you know what? Fuck Derek Chauvin. I don't care about that guy. His address is very much in the public record and a matter of public concern. He can eat shit for all I care. Here we go. So this is State of Minnesota versus Derek Michael Chauvin. So that's something to get off the bat here. This is a state tax case. This is not a federal tax case. Somebody in the comments on the other video asked me why the feds didn't charge Derek Chauvin. There's a couple possible reasons. The most plausible reason is that the state was investigating Derek Chauvin, and therefore the state found the evidence they were looking for to go ahead and charge Derek Chauvin. That's the what is it? Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is often correct or whatever. There you go. Occam's razor says state investigators were looking into Chauvin. State investigators found the information they needed. State investigators raised charges. Did they refer it to the IRS? Maybe. Are federal investigators going to look at it and determine something? Maybe. The other possibility is that they had filed state tax returns, or federal tax returns, but not state tax returns. That doesn't seem like that's the case, but it's hard to know from what's in here. It doesn't say that, I don't believe, but that would be a possibility, that they filed their Fed returns and they didn't file their state returns. That would be something they could do. One of the arguments for that is they do own a third property. Yes, Derek and his wife own 3 properties, and the third property is down in Florida. So they might have purchased a property down in Florida and then tried to claim it as a tax shelter from the state income tax of Minnesota, which is murderous and brutal and horrible and should be abolished immediately. So that may be what happened there. We'll get into the fact that defense will not fly, and they can document as to why that won't fly, at least as to Derek. But that could be at least the argument. That won't fly for the state stuff. But as for the federal stuff, they could have, well, we filed the federal ones because we're Florida residents, so we don't have to file state taxes. My thinking, though, is they didn't file anything. I'm just speculating on what it could possibly be. But they do not appear to have filed tax returns for several years in Minnesota, and then the last 2 years that they did file appear to be deficient. Let's take a look. Oh, and by the way, let me preface this as well. There's some people out there who think that this is like the Capone moment, that they're trying to get this guy. They're not going to get him on the murder, so they're going to get him on this, or they're just really putting it down. I think we will show from the probable cause report, which could be false. I've seen false things in probable cause reports before, but the stuff that they're talking about in this report would be really hard to falsify. But I think I will show you by the end of this document that this guy absolutely deserves these charges. And he's definitely just been tax evading improperly. So let's jump into this. Can you explain how tax shelter properties work? Wondered ever since Dodgeball. Try to look it up, but I need it lost blamed. It really depends. Minnesota is very, very possessive of its taxpayers. So in Minnesota, if you want to be exempt from Minnesota income tax, you have to be out of the state for 183 days. 183 days. If you're in the state of Minnesota for 183 days, you're paying taxes on your income. That's that. So, and yes, taxation is theft, and it is terrible, and I hate it, and taxation should be abolished, especially on the income tax, but it is the tax that we have, and to those people out there playing by the rules and paying what they owe, what this guy's done is pretty fucking sad. All right. Okay, so the charge on this one is aiding and abetting tax, false or fraudulent returns filed with the commissioner. So these are all felonies with 5 years and $10,000 fines attached to them. The 5 years would likely be able to be served concurrently. So if they get 5 convictions, we'll say, at 5 years each, he's not going to serve 25 years. He'll serve 5 years. He probably won't get 5 years, but it's possible. But anyway, aiding and abetting and being aided and abetted by another by filing with the commissioner a return, report, or other document known by the person to be fraudulent or false concerning a material matter, to wit, filing a false or fraudulent statement or return for 2014. Now he's charged, the offense date is April 25th, 2016. So he's already filing this document 2 years late, but they are suggesting that the statement that was filed, the tax return that was filed for 2016, was fraudulent, in this case, deficient. They left off income that he earned in the filing of this document. But it looks like he got an extension there. And then here we have on 10/4/2016, the 2015 return, which likely also had an extension. Same thing. Let's see. Filing with the commissioner return known by the person to be fraudulent or false concerning, oh my God, a material matter, to wit, filing a false or fraudulent statement or return for 2015. So 2014, 2015, he did file returns. Now he filed them in 2016. However, the returns are considered false or fraudulent, and we'll get into this. We'll get into how they found it in a minute. Sauce says, would they have found these tax errors if he wasn't so infamous? I doubt it. Lots of people don't pay their taxes and they don't get noticed. Unless they happen to get audited, right? But, you know, he's a police officer, and it looks like he paid his salary on his police officer salary because it was withheld from his taxes. There's other income that wasn't reported. And then his wife's income. I mean, woo. Ooh. Okay, number 3. Filing a false or fraudulent return for 2016. Now, these are interesting because the offense date is 6/26 of 2020. So these are just recently, June 2020. I don't know that they actually filed these. So 2016, 2017, 2018, filed on June 26th of 2020. We'll talk about it. They did bring them. They brought them to the cops. Don't do that. Don't do that. But that being, oh wait, no, I remember why this is the offense date. We'll talk about it. It has more to do with a phone call that was made. We'll talk about that in a minute. This one, however, this is the charge in this case that is erroneous in my opinion. This one is for taxes for 2019. Now on 6/26/2020, Minnesotans' taxes for 2019 were not due yet. They were not due until July 15th of 2020 for payment. Filing of the taxes is actually not due until October 15th of 2020. So this count should probably be dropped because at the time of the offense, it would have been impossible for him to be delinquent in filing the tax return. It would not be a possible thing. And I'm pretty sure he didn't actually file the false statement for 2019. But in the event that he did, he could have amended it by, he could have amended it anywhere by up to October. He could have amended and corrected it. So I think this is a bad charge, and they should let this go. They should let this one go. I mean, they'll get him on the other 8. The other 8 offenses, in my opinion, but this one is, I believe, improper. So the state just wants to cost this guy money with erroneous charges? I don't think so. Like, that is such an inconsequential thing in the face of having a 9-count charge. They're not costing him extra money on this. They probably just forgot. Like, honestly, they probably just made a mistake. They may even withdraw it on their own. Agrilith, that's the grift, man. That's the grift. I've actually seen your Discord DM and I meant to respond, but pal, the past couple days have been just tired. Okay, count 7. This is a different charge. And this is, let's see. Willfully attempts in any manner to evade or defeat a tax law by failing to file a return when required to do so. So this is 2015 tax, or 2016 taxes, 2017 taxes, and 2018 taxes. These are different charges. These are saying that they didn't file anything. Now they have the false statements here on 626 saying that they filed a false statement. These may end up all getting dropped because I don't know that they actually filed them. I don't know if they actually filed them. And if they didn't file them, that would be, a different crime. So I think they've charged these 4 counts on the thoughts that maybe they did file them. And this will be explained in a minute when we get into the report. But long story short, the wife came in for a police interview and she brought her accountant who slapped down hack jobbed returns for these years. Said, yeah. So they might have charged them just in case they filed them because they determined those returns to still be deficient as well. But if those returns were not actually filed with the commissioner, then these charges will drop. And instead, these charges will take over. So that's that. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But that's why there's charges for the same year's offenses here and here, but different counts. And one of them says they filed and one of them didn't. They probably don't even know if they filed them. All right, so let's get to the statement of probable cause. And we're going to learn about this guy's income and all sorts of stuff. We're going to root around his life a little bit. All right. On June 12th, 2020, investigators with the Minnesota Department of Revenue were assigned a case involving tax violations committed by Derek Michael Chauvin and Kelly May Chauvin. A review of internal Minnesota Department of Revenue records showed that the Chauvins filed a late tax return in 2014 and a timely tax return in 2015. The Chauvins did not file Minnesota income tax returns for the years 2016, 2017, or 2018. A Minnesota resident must file income taxes by April 5th of the following year. Person is considered a Minnesota resident if the person spends at least 183 days in Minnesota during the year, and the person or their spouse rent, own, maintain, or occupy an abode suitable for year-round use and equipped with its own cooking and bathing facilities. Additionally, individuals or married joint filers need to make more income than the minimum income threshold. Filing minimums for 2014 and 2019 were as follows. And then here we have the filing thresholds, starting at $20,300, moving up to $24,400. If you make more than that, you got to file. Investigators determined that the Chauvins' income was significantly over the threshold requirements, and they were Minnesota residents as they lived, worked, and had significant connections to the state of Minnesota. Between 2014 and 2017, the Chauvins owned 2 homes in Woodbury, Minnesota. The Chauvins classified as residential homestead only between 2014 and 2015. They classified the other home as residential non-homestead. On August 2nd, 2017, Derek and Katie purchased and resided at 7515 17th Street, North Oakdale in Minnesota. The Chauvins classified this home as residential non-homestead. Chauvins have owned a home in Windermere, Florida since October 2011. There's no homestead exemption on the Florida property. So, again, it's possible that they were having the Florida property and trying to make that a tax shelter. That will not be a good argument. Not a good argument. But they may argue it. Derek was primarily employed as a Minneapolis police officer. Investigators obtained Derek Chauvin's timesheets from the MPD. The investigator calculated the total days on which Derek Chauvin began or ended a shift as an MPD officer as follows, with 2020 being incomplete. So, in all of these years, we've got over 200 days worked. So, clearly within the state of Minnesota for greater than 183 days. Got 236, 228, 209, 226, 223, 246. Grand total of 1468. The city of Minneapolis issued a W-2 to Derek Chauvin every year between 2014 and 2019. Chauvin's annual income from the city of Minneapolis between 2014 and 2019 was as follows. So he starts off at $52,000 a year and goes up to $72,000 a year by 2019. So good job on the W-2 income. I don't know how much of that is overtime or what. Berserker Bauer, minimum for 2019 is $12,200 for a single filer. But for joint, it's $24,400. How does a cop afford a home in Windermere? Just don't pay your taxes, bro. But he's not the sole income earner. His wife is a real estate agent. He's also a part-time real estate agent. So we'll get to that in a minute. With approval from Minneapolis Police Department, officers are allowed to work off-duty security. The Police Department Policy Manual requires officers to report and pay taxes on all off-duty income. Between 2014 and 2020, Chauvin requested and was given approval by Minneapolis Police Department to work off-duty security for a restaurant named El Nuevo Rodeo, Cub Foods, Midtown Global Market, and EME Antro Bar. Investigators spoke with Witness 1, owner of El Nuevo Rodeo. Witness 1 confirmed that Chauvin provided security as an off-duty police officer nearly every weekend between January 2014 and December 2019. Witness 1 stated Chauvin generally took a shift from 11 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. No wonder he doesn't watch the show. And made $220 a night. In a search warrant of Chauvin's Oakdale home, investigators located handwritten schedules for Derek Chauvin's off-duty work between January 2014 and July 2016. During that period, Chauvin worked 172 shifts, or 6 shifts per month, at El Nuevo Rodeo. Extrapolating that average to December 2019, Derek Chauvin earned approximately $95,920 between January 2014 and December 2019 from El Nuevo Rodeo, and the Chauvins did not report as income. So there's $100,000 that they didn't pay taxes on, just completely unreported. Turd Ferguson, no, this is Cub Foods, not Cup Foods. They're different. Chauvin also worked as a licensed realtor for RE/MAX Results in 2017. Investigators obtained Chauvin's 2017 1099s from RE/MAX, showing that Derek Chauvin earned $9,477.50. Cub Foods and Midtown Global Market both filed 1099s for income earned by Chauvin between 2014 and 2016. Chauvin accurately reported this income on his tax returns. In 2016, Chauvin earned $2,660 from Cub Foods and $1,500 from Midtown Market. So some of the taxes he did go ahead and report. Beginning June 7th, 2019, D. Chauvin worked security for EME Antro Bar in Minneapolis. Investigators did not locate a W-2 or 1099 for Chauvin. Not shocking, the bar is paying him cash. Investigators spoke with Witness 2, owner of EME Antro Bar. Witness 2 stated Chauvin worked traffic control from 11 to 2:30 on weekends after his Minneapolis Police Department shift. Witness 2 stated Chauvin worked approximately 4 shifts per month, was paid $250 in cash each night. Kelly Chauvin, Katie, whatever her name is, Kay Chauvin, is a licensed realtor in Minnesota and works for RE/MAX Results in Eden Prairie. The 1099s provided by RE/MAX show that Kay Chauvin earned $22,398 in 2016, $94,004.63 in 2017, and $64,961.33 in 2018. K. Chauvin also operates a photography business under the name KC Images. In reviewing bank records obtained by investigators, K. Chauvin received 340 checks paid to either KC Images or to K. Chauvin, with the memo line stating photos. The checks totaled $66,472.75. The Chauvins did not report the checks as income in 2014 and 2015 filed tax returns. So, there's a bunch of money coming in. It's not being reported. In July 2017, D. Chauvin and K. Chauvin sold their Woodbury rental home. In prior filed tax returns, Chauvins took a deduction of the depreciation of the home to lower their income taxes. That same deduction must be applied to the purchase price of the home, or depreciation. Must be applied to the purchase price of the home when determining capital gains tax. Investigators calculated rental home depreciation $32,734. D. Chauvin and K. Chauvin did not apply this number to the purchase price when subtracting from the sale price, resulting in less capital gains tax. This one is probably a more common mistake than people realize. I actually would say that this, aside from being wrapped up in the other crime, that this should not be a crime. This should just be a letter saying, hey, you underpaid on capital gains tax. That's how that should be handled. Because a lot of people might use some sort of software or H&R Block or whatever, which is like, oh, you have a rental home? We can depreciate the hell out of that thing. And then they do it. And then when they sell the home, they don't actually deduct that depreciation from the basis value. Therefore, that home should have been $32,734 cheaper, but it wasn't. So, gains on this is going to be not a ton, maybe a couple $1,000s. I think it's 15% gains tax. Actually, I don't know what the state gains tax is. Investigators obtained and reviewed Chauvin and Chauvin's credit card transactions. The records showed they were making transactions at Minnesota businesses corroborating Minnesota residences. On June 25th, 2020, investigators from the Department of Revenue, along with the Oakdale Police Department, executed a search warrant at the Oakdale address. The home was mainly empty. A box of financial and tax documents, work schedules, and other correspondence was found in the garage. The records found corroborated Minnesota residents. Investigators also executed a search warrant at the office of Witness 3, Derek Chauvin's father, an accountant who prepared the Chauvins' 2014 and 2015 tax returns. Witness 3 stated he prepared the returns based on information given to him by the Chauvins. While not reported in 2014-2015, Witness 3 confirmed that Chauvin had additional income sources outside of MPD. Witness 3 stated that he filed an extension on behalf of the Chauvins for the 2016 returns. However, the Chauvins never provided financial information to Witness 3 to file returns. So, Dad's doing their taxes for him. But he seems to know that they weren't paying all they were owed. Shocking that they didn't drop an aiding and abetting charge on him for that. But they didn't. On June 26, 2020, investigators interviewed K. Chauvin. K. Chauvin stated that this is where they really go wrong, right here. Lady, your husband's a cop. Don't talk to the police. Don't talk to the police. No. Ah! Hi, we're from the Department of Revenue, and we just want to ask you some questions. No. No. Nuh-uh. K. Chauvin stated that both she and D. Chauvin jointly handled finances. Okay. Joint liability. K. Chauvin admitted that the Oakdale address was their primary residence. Whoops. K. Chauvin confirmed She and D. Chauvin owned a property in Windermere, Florida. Kay Chauvin said she spends December and January in Florida. The remaining months she lived in Minnesota. RIP. Kay Chauvin stated that D. Chauvin was not always in Florida with her due to his work schedule. Cue Drexel. She getting blown out. Kay Chauvin stated that she was aware she was required to file tax returns every year. Kay Chauvin told investigators that she had not filed income tax returns because it got away from her. It just got away. Oh, taxes. Whoops. Just slipped out of her hands. You know that big day they make a big deal out of because every year you have to do your taxes and everybody hates it. There's like so many jokes because literally everyone hates doing taxes. Oh, slipped away. Fuck. Just forgot or whatever. Kay Chauvin was accompanied by an accountant. At the interview, Kay Chauvin and the accountant provided income tax returns for 2016 to 2019. Much of the information provided in the returns was incomplete or was estimated. The income Derek Chauvin received from Midtown Global Market and Cub Foods was overestimated. The accountant disclosed that the 1099 forms were not available to him, and that he used 2015 officer income to estimate 2016 security guard income. However, the returns did not include Derek Chauvin's income from El Nuevo Rodeo or Kay Chauvin's income from KC Image. In the 2019 returns, Kay Chauvin did not include any income from El Nuevo Rodeo or EME Antro Bar. The 2019 return also does not report Kay Chauvin's income from KC Image. Derek Chauvin is currently in custody at the... Here's where they really get him. Derek Chauvin is currently in custody at the Minnesota Correctional Facility at Oak Park Heights. All inmate calls are recorded. Let me say it again in case you missed it. This is true everywhere. All inmate calls are recorded. They're all recorded. Don't talk on the fucking phone in jail, you dumb piece of shit. You're a cop. You're a cop. You know they record it. You know they're on the damn phone. Guys, if you ever happen to be in custody, don't talk on the fucking phone. Hey, man, I need to talk to you in person. Then when they show up and they try to put you on that glass thing and you're talking on the phone between each other to the glass. No. Bad dog. Bad criminal. No. You don't talk on the phone about anything important at all. Okay. Sorry. Investigators reviewed Derek Chauvin's jail calls. Kay Chauvin called Derek Chauvin on June 26th, one day after investigators executed a search warrant on the Oakdale home. Kay Chauvin told Derek Chauvin that people were looking into their unfiled tax returns. In the call, Kay Chauvin tells Derek Chauvin that she is meeting with somebody about 16 to now. That'd be 2016 to now. In the call, Derek Chauvin suggests using, quote, who we have used to handle for many years. Kay Chauvin responds, yeah, well, we don't want to get your dad involved because he will just be mad at me, I mean us, for not doing them for years. Now you have an admission recorded unprompted on a line that can absolutely be recorded. Whoops. No cop induced her to talk about that except for her husband, but he's not a cop anymore. So at least on the issue of 2016 and now, yeah, that's bad news. In January of 2018, the Chauvins purchased a 2018 BMW X5 for $100,000 from BMW of Minnetonka. Contract for purchase shows Chauvins listed their home address as the Windermere, Florida property. Whoops. Derek Chauvin and Kay Chauvin provided Florida driver's licenses for the application. Hey guys, this is fucking tax fraud. Just so you know. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But it absolutely is. Derek Chauvin and Kay Chauvin provided Florida driver's licenses for the application. The Chauvins registered a car in Florida and paid Florida sales tax of $4,664.70. Investigators discovered that the car was serviced by BMW of Minnetonka on 11 dates after the purchase. No service dates were found outside of Minnesota. Kay Chauvin said that she and Derek Chauvin changed their residency to Florida because it was cheaper to register a car. Because the car was owned and operated in Minnesota, the Chauvins were required to pay Minnesota sales tax and registration on the car. The required tax was $5,053.43. She told the investigators she told them they committed tax fraud in the car. Well, of course we changed it to Florida. It's cheaper. The answer would be, of course we changed it to Florida. We immediately drove it down there, and that's where the car is. I mean, if that were true. But other than that, you're paying Minnesota taxes, baby. The Chauvins did not file tax returns in 2016, 17, and 18. They filed tax returns in 14 and 15. And 19 did not report income received from Derek Chauvin's off-duty security work and Kay Chauvin's photography income. Total amount of individual income tax, including tax penalties and interest during that period, is as follows. So they underreported their income in 2014 by $18,605. In 2015 by $21,565. They underreported by this amount. Not this is their total amount. In 2016, underreported by $99,205. In 2017, underreported by $157,109. In 2018, by $134,080. And in 2019, by $33,869. For grand total underreporting income of $464,433. So just shy $500,000 in underreported income. That's on top of the income they did report. The tax due. Now their total tax bill is really not that big of a deal. Total tax due $1,313 for 2014, $1,520 for 2015, $32.61 for 2016, $76.61 for 2017, and $57.95 for 2018, and $23.03 for 2019, for a total amount of $21,853, with a late fee addition of an additional $1,688. Now they've got a fraud penalty, which adds 50% to that. Good job, you idiots. Adding another 11 grand. Then you've got interest on that for $3,400 for a total of about $38,000. About $38,000 total. So here's the probable cause statement's conclusion. Chauvins were aware of their obligation to pay Minnesota income taxes. In October 2019, a request for missing return letter was sent to Chauvin for the 2016 tax return. A second letter was sent in January 2020. In September 2019, a request for missing return letter was sent to K. Chauvin for missing 2016 income tax return. Second letter was sent in December 2019. All letters warned the Chauvins that they could be subject to criminal penalties if no returns are filed. Department of Revenue sent K. Chauvin a commissioner filed return notifying her that an assessment of tax was issued after she did not respond to the request for missing return letters. This does not relieve the obligation to file a tax return. Again, the letter warned Chauvin about the criminal penalties for not filing a return. Derek Chauvin is in custody at Minnesota Correctional Facility at Oak Park Heights. K. Chauvin is out of custody. So then this is the summons to show up for the criminal charges. We've got statute offense grid. These are felony level offenses. Fun times. No modifiers on any of these. They're all just felonies. So there you go. That is the Chauvin tax return. What did we learn from this? First of all, pay your taxes. That's a good life lesson in general. Pay your taxes. It's cheaper than fighting in criminal court about it, but pay your taxes. Second thing we learned about this. Don't talk to the cops! Don't talk to the cops! Don't ever talk to the cops! Don't talk to the cops. You got an attorney in there. You know you have to pay taxes, right? I got no fucking idea what I got to do. Did you pay taxes? I don't know. Just don't answer. Don't answer. Say anything. When they search your house on the 25th, don't show up on the 26th with an accountant with your missing 3 years of tax returns. Next thing. Every phone in a jail cell or a police station is recorded. Every single one. All of them. Always. They're always recorded. They're recorded. Everything you say near any cop is recorded. Might be on a body cam. Might be on a cell phone. Might be on a tin can and a string. It doesn't matter. It's all recorded. Everything you say around any cop is recorded. Or in any cop-owned facility. All of it. Write stuff down. Write notes. Hold them up to the glass. Don't talk about it. Ever. Ever. Never. And then the last thing, know the law about your residency and why that matters as far as income taxes go. Like, be very thorough on it. Especially if you're going to kneel on the neck of a black man as a white man and make the national news, and then have every federal and state department on earth wanting to pillage you and remount that cornhole. Here's the real problem for Derek Chauvin. And Kelly Chauvin, or Katie, or whatever her name is. Here's the real problem. This is just the state level. The federal level is much, much worse. It is much worse for these people than this. That $30,000 bill at the state level is 80, 90 grand at the federal level. That's owed. It's a massive amount. It's a massive amount. And then not only that, not only do they have that problem, they also have the problem of the federal criminal penalties, which could be coming from this. Will she see jail time or get a payment plan? Who knows? I don't know if the feds are... I don't know if the state, is mostly after her. Probably mostly after him. This is one of those incidental things, right? Like, this guy cost the state infinity dollars and a bunch of hassle. And so now the state is just looking into him. And lots of people commit tax fraud. Lots of people do the wrong thing. They just do. So this guy is not really anything special. He just happened to do something that got some people's attention, and now they're going to look into him. They're going to look into him. Angry Baneling says, isn't the conversation between a client and his lawyer confidential? How can that be used against a prisoner? Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be, but is it? If you're talking too loud, if you're talking loud enough to be picked up by a recording, I mean, look, when your attorney's in the room, they can't record you on that phone. But if you're talking loud enough to be picked up by another phone, I mean, you're just talking too loud. It's not their fault. They weren't trying to invade on your privacy. They just happened to. It's all recorded. It's all always recorded. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's such a thing as aggravated tax evasion. I don't know what the aggravating factors for tax evasion could be. But yeah. Here's the thing, man. I hate taxes. I hate them. But that's $500,000 in income that other people would have paid taxes on. They didn't. This is a cop. This is a cop. This is a guy who will take someone on the street, throw them on the ground, scrape them up for owning weed or a pipe or something like that. If this guy was questioning you about tax issues, he wouldn't be, because he's not a revenue officer. But let's say you evaded paying a parking ticket, something like that. He would absolutely be grilling you into the dirt. This guy gets paid by taxes, by the way. He gets paid by taxes. This is where his income comes from. This is a guy who would give you a knee to the neck. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He'd smile at you while you die. But I didn't want to get too hyperbolic. But this is a guy his job relies on people paying the taxes, and he's not doing it. He's just taking it. Zephael, why are the charges only against Derek Chauvin? No, they're against both. This is just the charging document for him. She has an identical charging document. I should have made that clear. She has her own charging document. This one's just against him. Because crimes are individual. So. There you go. All right. So there's that thing. I don't know. Just kind of a funny story. Interesting story. Don't kill someone in a high profile case if you're committing tax fraud. Or don't commit tax fraud if you're going to kill someone in a high profile case. Either way, it works both ways. It works both ways. But not a good place to be. A lot of people are of the impression that he's going to walk on the criminal charges. Man, I still don't think so. And let me briefly comment on that because it's kind of important, I guess. Even if Floyd was high on fentanyl and had a quote unquote lethal amount of fentanyl in his system, which is kind of a silly thing to say because lethal amounts of fentanyl change very dramatically based on your tolerance. But that being said, even if he had that, he wasn't dying until the improper application of a knee to the back of his neck. Let's say he died from a heart attack or, something else. It's not the direct result of the knee on the neck, but the stress caused by the situation makes the knee a contributing factor, which contributes to a wrongful death. Now, is that second-degree murder? I don't think so. I don't think second-degree murder is a proper charge in this case at all. I don't think Derek Chauvin kneeled on George Floyd and said, I'm going to kill this guy. I don't think that was the thing. I don't think Derek Chauvin kneeled on Floyd's neck and said, I'm going to hurt this guy. I don't think that was his intention at all. I think second-degree murder is a stupid charge and should be dropped. Third-degree murder just meant that he recklessly created a situation in which this could happen. And so far, there's lots of evidence the knee contributed. What are you talking about? The knee happened and the guy died. The guy wasn't already dying. I mean, he may have been. Here's the problem. He may have been, but that knee, which is not a proper way to treat someone, it doesn't matter if he was already dying. That's the issue, because we don't know that he would have died without it. We do know that it happened, and we do know that he did die. And we do know that that knee, as applied, was improper. I don't care what you want to fucking say about a training manual or anything like that. That knee. You go ask any Minnesota cop, hey, should he have kept his knee on that guy's neck for 9 minutes? They'll go, lol, no. Lol, no, of course not. Of course not. It doesn't matter if he was otherwise in some sort of trouble, unless there's a very slim possibility that they could link it to immediate use of fentanyl. Like if what Earl Grey is saying is true, and he ate a bunch of fentanyl right before they pulled him out of the car, and then they could link that to his acts. That's the way that you say, okay, this is the cause. But if he's just on fentanyl, even if he's, yes, in a driver's seat on fentanyl, not dying when they walk him to the car, not dying when he squirms and struggles and gets out of the car, but he puts the knee on the neck and he sits there and he waits 6 minutes for him to stop moving and stop having a pulse, and then he stays 3 more minutes. It's ridiculous to say that didn't contribute to the death. And we know that all happened. It would take a monumental act to say that anything else was an intervening cause to that. And it would take more information than we currently have. Now, it may be there. It may be there. But let me tell you this. Even if he kneeled on his neck and that caused the heart attack and then he died, that knee was improperly applied for far too long. Even if that just raised the stress level and killed him, that's still third-degree murder or second-degree manslaughter. I don't think Derek Chauvin walks. I don't think it shows, or I don't think he walks in any way. Oh, hey, Quartering's here. What's up, buddy? Everyone knows it was COVID. Yes. The coof killed him as far as government stats are concerned. And then, I know there's arguments that he was already having a heart attack and all this stuff. Stop taking the legal advice from the blogs. Even if that's the case, they will still still suggest that kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes while he's having a heart attack, that the knee is the cause. Again, the only way out of this for Chauvin, and this is limited to Chauvin, is basically if they can prove that he ate a bunch of drugs at the time of the pullover and those drugs hitting his system is what caused him to die. So, we'll see. We'll see. Get the quartering on next week. He's welcome anytime, man. Anytime. I don't want to put him on blast on here, but we can talk about whatever. Love to. Okay, that's enough of Derek Chauvin. This guy is in a bad spot. He's going to get pillaged on the criminal case for Floyd, and he's definitely getting pillaged on the taxes. He's definitely doing that. So, that being said, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's shift gears and talk about Ronald Toye. Can we do that? Oh, God. Ugh. Let me find him. Let me find Ronald Toye. We're going to talk about his triumphant return to Twitter. Yes, Ronald Toye is back on Twitter. I wish I wasn't being tagged by idiots like Mike Dunford. Oh my God, I don't care what you have to say. Or Catherine Tewson. God, that lady's large. Okay, I'll just look at it this way. This is going to be a pseudo Ronversations. It's not a real Ronversations. Like, he's not talking to me, but he's talking at me. And like I said, I'm going to take the credit for his return. So, let's see here. So we're gonna talk about what he's been up to. We'll take a look at what I think has caused his return to Twitter, why I'm taking credit for it. Quartering says, much love, Nick. I'll be kicking myself here, but drink off for charity soon. Be well, all. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? No. A drink off for charity? How much can we raise before we end up in a hospital? Should we do it in person? Should I come to your place or something? I'll come out to your house and we'll drink there. We'll see. We'll figure something out, man. I think that'd be fun. Here you go. Here's cheers to you, pal. I like how I just invited myself to Jeremy's house. What's up? I'll just show up. Don't even worry about it. I won't tell you. Okay, let's let's do Ron Toye here. All right, let's move this over a bit. So here is Ron's first tweet. It was seven hours ago. Wash the glass. It had the same whiskey in it yesterday. Okay. So I posted this earlier today. And I guess I've had enough 1792 for this. When a man loves a woman, you get Ron Toye, right? So here's his. This is from his affidavit, or from his ex-wife's affidavit. And the reason I take full credit for Ron being back is this thing was so absolutely triggered by this that he had to create a Twitter to argue with me, and that makes me so unreasonably happy. So happy. This is from his affidavit of his wife, his first wife, I believe, his first ex-wife. It says, if I were you, wait, I'll read it in Ron's voice, right? If I were you, I would call me back pretty fucking quick. Remember, she committed the offense, the unconscionable offense of not answering the phone when Ron called. I would call me back pretty fucking quick, because I told you about hanging up on me, okay? It's not like you do a lot, or you have to do a lot, seeing as you are afforded the opportunity to stay fucking home. Wow, salty much. So if I need you to come and get me, guess what that means? You fucking come and get me. Otherwise, I'll take your car and you can fucking hitchhike and figure out how to get around. Because I pay all the fucking bills. I don't like being hung up on. You don't like fights? Don't do stuff to provoke me. You know you're fucking provoking me when you hang up on me, okay? I didn't ask you for anything for your mom, or ask you to do anything for your mom. Your mom is another daughter who lives with her named blank, who can pick her ass up. I don't give a shit about your sister. I need to get something taken care of. Don't fucking hang up on me again or you can fucking walk around. Oh! Remember this, guys. This is the guy. These people love this guy and support him. All these Me Too womans running around with their selves supporting Ron Toye. This is what he's like to women. This is what he's like. Ron will argue, no, that's what I was like. You don't know me now. No, Ron. This is what you're still like. We can tell. Oh, why did I blank that? Look, I didn't. I believe I did do the blanking. Now, this image is of this is from Kiwi Farms, but I think it's snagged from a stream that I did. I blanked out the names of anyone who wasn't Ron Toye because, you know, what do they have to do with it? But obviously, Ron's a terrible, terrible individual. I can't imagine talking to my wife like this. I genuinely can't. And don't worry. Lady Rackets has done plenty to make me angry in my life. And she has done, and I have done plenty to make her angry. We've been married a long time. Much longer than Ron will ever be married. Because he'll probably never be married again. That being said, I cannot imagine having a conversation like this. Can't do it. Can't even think about, like, what are you doing? Like, why is this your go-to? So, Ron comes out. This is Ron's thing with Vic. This is Ron's thing with Vic. Ron likes to focus on things that legitimately don't matter and try and make them into a big deal. But anybody who has a mildly functioning brain can understand what's going on in these quotes. So let's talk about it, right? Nick, you do remember this, right? Don't worry, I'm back. I'm back, and I'm happy to remind you and everyone else how creepy your boy is. It is a matter of public safety at this point, smiley face. Oh no, Ron, are you mad already? I have plenty more of these amazing quotes from your client. Ron, go to my channel and just clip out the video. It's better. Just clip out the damn video. Oh yeah, says he's saying it's my client. But Right. Obviously, Vic is not my client. Or is he? Ooh. For the transcriber. Here, for the transcriber. So you can clip this out of context, Ron. Vic is definitely my client. Therefore, when you transcribe this and all context is removed, you will be able to say definitively that I, Nick Rekieta, represent Vic Mignogna as his personal attorney and secretly wrote all of the documents that were filed in the case. That is definitely what happened. No one on the internet would ever lie or joke. So there you go. So question. Would you agree with me that kissing 14-year-old girls on the face, whether it's consensual or not, is really not appropriate for a 40 or 50-year-old man? Objection form. I would say a lot depends on context. Okay, when is it? What is the context in which a 40 or 50-year-old man kissing a 14-year-old girl is appropriate? Well, if it is requested. Now, what Lemoyne didn't do in this, but he meant is asking for a friend. For a friend, I need to know, when can my friend kiss 14-year-old girls? Okay. Obviously, there are plenty of times and contexts when a 40 or 50-year-old man kissing a 14-year-old girl is appropriate. Grandparents kiss their grandchildren all the time. Parents kiss their children all the time. A 40 or 50-year-old man having a 14-year-old daughter is not that weird. And kissing them on the face is fine. In those contexts, kissing them on the lips might be fine. Like a little, peck on the lips or whatever, depending on the person. I don't know, people. Is it a sensual kiss? That's a different story, right? That's a big contextual difference. But remember, on the face includes the forehead, the side of the cheek. That's not necessarily creepy. In fact, in many countries, it's completely innocuous. But this is their ammo. This is where they live. And the idea of things that are completely normal and literally no one cares about the encounter 99.9% of the time. They're trying to make this into a deal by changing the language, by implying the motive. But if a girl comes up or a boy comes up and says, hey, Mr. Mignogna, can I get a kiss on the cheek or whatever? Their parent is there. What's the problem with that? It's not unsafe. It's in public. There's no sensuality built into it. I mean, Ron or Lemoyne especially might get a boner if anyone even gets close to their face. Maybe. But most people don't. Most people are like, oh, look, a little show of affection. So here we go. And then he replied to me again. Same thing. Not triggered at all. And then he, let's see. Replied to me. Look at this. Not triggered. More replies on this stuff. We'll go through them in just a minute. This one, another reply to the same tweet. This guy replied to this tweet like 15 times. Another one. Another one. Then he went to find this other tweet that I made and replied to that. Then what's he replying to here? Oh, same one. Then this one. Then he's replying to this thing again. Now he's replying to people in it because Ron clinically must control the narrative. Look at this. He's These are all of Ron's tweets so far, by the way. He's got 14 followers. Since the trolls nuked my account, I decided to start a new one. Guess who is back? Oh, he joined in March of 2020. Oh, what a cunt. Someone gave him this account, I believe. Or he had it already. I think this is before his ban, so now he's not ban evading. He's not ban evading. It's not ban evasion according to the Twitter terms if the account you're using predates the ban. And you know this is Ron because look, will it be easy? Nope. Worth it? Absolutely. Motivation Mafia. This vanilla chump has a motivational quote as his background image. Whew. Wow. So then he posts the email from Michelle Speck. Ron loves this. Ron loves Michelle Speck. Ron loves this email and affidavit from Michelle Speck to find a woman who cheated on a man to be with Vic, mad that Vic cheated on her, and act as a jilted ex. He loves it. Because Ron's disgusting. He loves it. And the fact that she wrote all this stuff to Vic, Ron thinks that this justifies Ron's behavior. Although Ron doesn't understand that this wasn't public until after the lawsuit. So this, I mean, when you get down into it, Ron, you can't use this information as some sort of bludgeon against Vic because this is March 14th, 2019. You didn't know any of this at the time you made your statements. Nor did anybody else, because this email was almost assuredly made for the purposes of this lawsuit. I want people to be aware of the timeline here. March 14th of 2019 is 30 days after my show started. There's already plenty of talk about suing. It's 25 days or so after the 23 to 25 days after the GoFundMe is created. It is after Ty Beard has been named. It is after We Will Be in Touch. This email from Michelle Speck did not happen years ago. It was not disseminated around the internet. I would bet money that this email was specifically calculated, maybe even solicited by a couple of fucking garbage people like Ron and Monica. I don't know that, but I have a strong suspicion. Let's just call it a really strong suspicion that Ron and Monica reached out to Michelle to beg her to create an email that would implicate Vic in a bunch of shit that they had already been talking about to try and cover their asses because they're fucking awful people. I don't know how often we can say it. Monica Rial is a fat pile of garbage. Ron Toye is a pile of soy-filled vegan compost. You people are shit. You deserve all of the negative press, all of the negative shit that's coming your way. You begged for it, and I bet you begged Michelle for it too, because you're fucking bad people. And Ron, you know you're bad. That's even worse. Sakaki Onsai says, speaking of a tax question, will you, Nick Rekieta, need to pay taxes on the permanent home that you have within Ron Toye's head? I don't know. I didn't get a rental return slip from him. I'm kind of frustrated. What kind of form do you have to fill out for that? A W-69. Tell us. We gots to know. Hashtag rent free. I think I get to deduct any a portion of that on my taxes. I get a rental tax credit in Minnesota. So then here we've got Ron Toye responding. Her response, wow! Wow! Again, March 20th, 2019. They employed a jilted ex to go after this guy. His reply, look at the dates. He thought it was a great idea to file a lawsuit after knowing this was out there. Ron, I know that being a bad dragon product, that this is hard for you to understand. It doesn't matter that this was out there before he filed the lawsuit. It matters when you said your statements. You couldn't have known about this. It hadn't happened yet. It hadn't happened yet, Ron. God, I hope this comes back on appeal. I hope this comes back on appeal. I think Ron's a little scared that it might. Now, notice, of course, that Ron also, right before this is today, but right before this, after the court announced no oral arguments, Ron went on the Kiwi Farms and jizzed all over with idiocy on the Kiwi Farms post about him. Because Ron is the most predictable, unable to deal with any sort of pressure person on the planet. Ron is so maladjusted and pathetic that anytime anything happens in his case, he must run to the website where he is routinely derided and mocked. He must do it. He has to try to control the narrative. He has to. Because if he doesn't control the narrative, his programming will shut down. So the judges issued a simple letter saying submissions by September 22nd and no oral argument. And he didn't run to the farms to talk about the oral argument. It's not like he's like, haha, bitches, we're not getting an oral argument. We're going to win now or whatever because he's listening to Mike Dumford or something like that. No, it's not that. It's just when anything happens, he must run to wherever he has a voice and be loud. Because he's such an unsecure little beta that he can't deal with not being involved in that conversation. Raging Fury says he has to. That means he can be manipulated. You think? I'm pretty sure I've manipulated the Ron to the tune of like $5,000 by now. Of course he can be manipulated. He's a dumbass. He's a moron. He's one of the easiest to manipulate and predict people I've ever seen in my life. I'm so happy he's back on Twitter. You guys have no idea. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Nova Zero says, objection, misrepresentation of fecal matter. Fecal matter frequently aids soil. Counselor, please refer to defendant as soyant, kumquat, or kukaki. Gross. Or is it cupcake? I love Ron being back on Twitter. It's my favorite thing. So again, he's got these emails. They didn't get to this in the lawsuit because Ron doesn't know this. Ron doesn't know or understand this because his attorneys lied to him. about needing to get these affidavits from Michelle or whatever. Ron, by the way, your attorneys, they either don't know this, which is embarrassing because they're experts, or they do know this and lied to you to extract money. But Michelle's affidavit doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter at all. You don't actually get truth as a defense at TCPA. That's in Kahn versus Vander Linden. Truth as a defense is not, it's not even a proper affirmative defense at TCPA, because if the plaintiff shows by prima facie evidence the falsehood, then truth can't be a defense. It's in Vander Linden versus Kahn, which is written by the same judge, the chief judge, Sudderth, who's on your current appeal. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But what I do know is you don't have the truth as an affirmative defense. You think because you're dumb and because your attorneys lied to you to extract money. Ron, they lied to you to extract money from you. I have to point that out. But if you think that Michelle's affidavit helped you at TCPA, you're incorrect. In fact, none of the affidavits you presented should be factored at all in a TCPA hearing. Because, and according to Chup, they didn't. So all of that is extra. It's extraneous. And if you want to know why Chup didn't give you fees on all of your things, that's why. If you don't understand yet that Chup didn't give you fees because most of the fees that your expert firm charged you are not related to the defense you needed to mount, according to Chup. Most of those fees were lies to you, not to Vic, not to Vic's team. They lied to you. You're their client. You're the one they're billing for it. And if you lose or something happens, you're the one paying for it. Or your insurance. I'm sure your insurance is definitely covering it. You're the one who will be paying for that. But they lied to you. None of these are useful to your defense at this point. They may eventually become useful in the case proper if it comes back on appeals. But you don't get truthfulness as a defense. It's in Kahn versus Vander Linden. You don't get it. You can raise it later as an affirmative defense, but not at TCPA. You could raise it on summary judgment or something like that. But not now. So all of this is for nothing. It also, you can't use it to justify your statements because you weren't aware of it because this hadn't happened. And again, I hope it comes back just because I would love for them to point this out. Just exclude the whole damn thing. All these emails should be excluded. They couldn't have known about these emails at the time they made the statements because emails didn't exist. Next. This is another one Ron is hung up on. Here's a great one. Remember how much heat you gave me for the I don't recall stuff? Yes. Yes, because you are lying. And Ron, do you know how I know you're lying? It's because you went on the Knuckleheads and admitted to fucking lying about it. Like, I meant every word I said and I meant it all about him. And then even in that interview, you backtracked. Even in the interview, you went back on those words and admitted to lying. You cucked to your own lie. Like, wow, I don't know if that was about Bill Cosby. No, it was literally about you. You're responding to someone talking about Vic. Well, I don't know what it was about. It was about you and Vic. It's literally about Vic. You were never talking about Cosby at all or Weinstein. You made that up. You lied at your deposition to try and cover your ass because you're a cowardly bitch. Ron, here's you. I stand by my words. Then the moment you get into court, I don't know what I meant. I was maybe talking about somebody else. You're a coward. You're a pussy. It's pathetic. And it's why Monica won't marry you. Own it. You're already free and clear, right, Ron? You're already free and clear. Just be like, yes, of course I meant that about Vic. We know you meant it about Vic. Everybody knows you meant it about Vic. You're not even convincingly lying about it. You're just lying because you're such a bitch. It's pitiful. And anyway, this big one from your boy. Remember you pushed for him to sue. I didn't push him at all to sue. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I didn't. You can run with this narrative all day. It will never, ever be true. And again, God, I hope this goes back. You know, another reason I hope this goes back, Ron, is because I can't wait for you to try and depose me again. Please, please try. Let me waste all of your money and all of your time. It'll be fantastic. Of course, it was 30 years ago, lol. It literally was 30 years ago. Every rational adult knows what that answer means. His words in the court record. Yeah, Ron, every rational adult knows that I don't necessarily remember what happened that was inconsequential 30 years ago. Let's read it. Were there any let's read the stuff he didn't highlight. Were there any allegations of inappropriate behavior between you and any students at this school in Jacksonville that led to your resignation or termination? Not to my knowledge. And would you agree with me that if you were terminated for inappropriate behavior or allegations of inappropriate behavior with children, that's something you'd remember? Certainly. Of course, it was 30 years ago. Certainly, I would remember. Because, Ron, most people would remember if they were terminated for inappropriate behavior with children. That's something that kind of would stick with many people. But he also says certainly. Of course, it was 30 years ago. Okay, but even 30 years ago, if you're accused of inappropriate behavior with children at your first job after graduating from the Christian School of Liberty University, that's something that would stick with you, isn't it? Notice the answer, Ron. Yes, sir. Can you not read or listen? Like, this was one of the... Put it in front of a judge or a jury. See what they think about it. Everybody reads that and goes, yeah, the guy doesn't remember why he stopped doing that job. If you go up, he doesn't even remember if he was terminated or resigned. It was 30 years ago. It was a nothing job. Doesn't remember. What's it mean, Ron? What do your tweets mean, Ron? Do you touch little boys, Ron? I don't know. I'm just asking. We know why he has a habit of deleting messages after reading the affidavit submitted by his ex-fiancée. But here's one of my many examples of I don't recall. Let's see how many times he said it. About 300 less than you. When's the last time you got a text message from Mr. Rekieta? I don't recall. Hey, Ron, when's the last time you got a direct message from me, Ron? Do you recall? I don't. I don't even recall when it was sent. I could go look it up. Have you done anything to delete any communications off your either email or phone or other electronic devices from Mr. Rekieta? Well, I have a routine of once I finish a conversation with someone, because I delete it because I don't... ... You didn't include the rest. That's a great non-answer to the question, by the way. Good job, Vic. Notice how he didn't answer the question of whether he deletes anything from me. In fact, they have no idea from that answer whether or not, if I had text messaged him, he had deleted it. They don't even know. They don't know if that's a thing at all. Ty's words at the hearing. It's weird, right? How's that going for you? Frankly, if they don't want a confidentiality order, that's fine, as long as we get to depose them, because then we have mutually assured destruction. How's that going for you? Fine. Hey, Ron, how's that reputation of yours doing? You wife-beating, terrible dad piece of shit. How's your son's Tinder account going, Ron? How's your son's Tinder account going? Where he's pretending to be 20 and begging to get out of the house and walking around on YouTube dropping the N-word all over the place. How's that doing for you, you weirdo? Holy shit. Rager was in them too. So this is the leaks. Look at this. Look at this tweet by Chris Rager. This is not to me. I was not in this discussion. Zero Resurrected and Canvas Pirate are who he's responding to. Your logic is seriously flawed. I owe you nothing. We owe you nothing. You deserve nothing. Now, briefly, this is a conversation about piracy. Anime piracy is still rapid and making a lot more money than you. You condone federal criminal activity. You're such a good person. You're the reason it makes money. You drive them away with your juvenile, unprofessional behavior. Vic is one the fans care about. The only fans that matter to you are the ones that can kiss your ass. So I'm responsible for other choices to participate in criminal activity. Great logic. Yes, you are. You're at the mercy of us and our money. You depend on us. You need us. You always have and always will. Same with your colleagues. We choose what to do with our money. You cannot stop us. I owe you nothing. We owe you nothing. You deserve nothing. He is directly, Chris Rager is directly stating that fans are not important, that they owe nothing to the fans of the show, the people who buy their product, the customers who buy their shit that they put out, that they owe them nothing and that the customers deserve nothing. That's what this is the context of this tweet. Think about that. You make a product for, it's like Toyota saying, we owe you nothing and you deserve nothing. No, you deserve a lot of things. We deserve a car that functions. I mean, if we're going to spend $40,000 on the car, we deserve a car that functions, doesn't light on fire, kill our families, something like that. Same thing with anime, right? You're going to drop $25-$30 on a collector's edition Blu-ray. You definitely deserve a well-crafted product. You deserve an edited product that looks good, sounds good. You deserve a product that is true enough to the Japanese to be passable when it's subbed by one of these idiots. Or many of these idiots. You deserve a lot of things. You're shelling out money. So anyway, someone then said that I provided the Funimation leaks, which of course I did, and they were like, which contains Sabbat and Schemmel. But I reminded them, Chris Rager was in them too. Hi! Oh God, I can't do my Hercule. How do I do Hercule Satan? It doesn't matter. I'm strongest in the world. That's probably a shitty Hercule right now because I haven't listened to Hercule in a while. But long story short, Chris Rager was in them talking about his magnificent cock. And I played those. So then Ron has to reply. He has to. Tomorrow I will go ahead and highlight the affidavit from Chuck that talks about your boy being a creep. Chuck says that he believes that Vic used his position as a voice actor to get sex or something, sexual encounters with women. Good. I'm going to say it. Unpopular opinion. Good. Of course. If I was a rock star, single, I would use my rock star status to try and hook up with chicks. Right? Like if I was an actor Like Leonardo DiCaprio. I would be trading in models too. Of course you would. That's what the status is for. That's half the job description. Jesus Christ. By the way, so would Chris Rager. So would Chris Sabat. So would Sean Schemmel. So would all of these guys. Of course they do. That's part of celebrity. Z-list or A-list, it doesn't matter. Why they go to conventions. Some of these guys don't make money at conventions. Some of these guys just make vagina at conventions. That's what they want. Anyway, but you keep taking credit for the leaks that were out 10 years prior. Oh, no, they weren't, and you know it. To your temper tantrum and failed attempt to wreck everyone else due to your boy taking all those L's. First of all, those leaks were not out 10 years prior to my comment, and you know it. And so does your dumb wife, and so does all of her dumb friends. None of you wanted that out. Not a single one of you wanted those audio leaks out. You hoped to God they would go away. Of course you did. Of course you did. Because why would you want them out? That's the real question. Why would you want them out at all? Just a second. Sorry. Looking for something real quick. Anyway, okay. Back to it. No, they'd all been out. They'd all been out. Oh, say dumb fiance. He doesn't have a wife and never will. Just takes it up the butt every night. Damn. Sorry. But yeah, it's just it's fantastic. 10 years prior, sure. You guys sure responded to that in a very interesting way. Funimation didn't say anything about it. Anything. Nothing. Hey, but Ron, I wonder if Funimation's internal policies have changed based on that. I wonder if Funimation's internal policies are different. I mean, I don't know, of course. I have no idea if Funimation stopped, keeping any sort of outtakes that they weren't definitely going to use. I mean, why would Funimation do something like that? And that'd be silly for them to do that. And I have no information that would suggest that Funimation has done that in any way. Of course not. Don't you dare, you bigots. Don't you dare. But sure, Ron. They were out for 10 years. That's right. Okay, here we go. This will be fun. Let's read this out of order. Nick won't tell you that I don't make any excuses for my behavior. I'm not going to read the rest of that yet. Cobb says, Nick, as much of a pain in the ass as it would be, if you willingly went to a depot and streamed it afterwards, it would be legendary. Oh. I'm under no illusions about that. It would be great. But they have to try, right? They have to put up some effort. Remember, Nick won't tell you that I don't make any excuses for my behavior. Nick, the fact that my ex-wife is a good friend or referral partner and made a statement about how much I have changed must really drive you nuts. No excuses. I didn't sue and called on my BS. I put my head down, did the work, and earned her trust. Ron, you were already in a lawsuit? I don't know if Ron realizes it. I didn't sue. Ron, you're fucking already in divorce. That's a legal proceeding. You were already there. You were having, this is a restraining order hearing. What were you going to sue for? You lost the hearing, Ron. She got a restraining order against you because the court found you committed family violence and were likely to commit family violence again. What would you sue for? You got sued, you fucking dummy. No excuses. Earned her trust. That's why I have custody and respect. We have no evidence of respect. Custody, a lot can change over a lot of years to grant you custody. Also, I don't know that anybody ever suggested that you were a danger to the kid. You're a danger to her. And being a danger to the wife doesn't have any legal implication on custody. The ex-wife. I don't pretend she doesn't exist, and I do not try to minimize my behavior. You literally do all the time. My words were abusive and manipulative. This statement was from a custody hearing in 2012 with the first wife. X2 gave an affidavit to support the request for a protective order. Nick won't tell you that I don't make excuses for my behavior. He likes to point to that affidavit where it also mentioned the time I slapped her on the thigh with a remote. Despicable behavior, no denying that. She deserved better. Ron, you hit your wife. You hit your wife, but more importantly, you threatened to kill her boyfriend's child. You threatened to kill a toddler, you disgusting human. But what he failed to clarify is that I wasn't convicted of domestic violence. I never, ever said you were convicted of domestic violence, you weirdo. Why should I clarify it? I wasn't charged with any crime. I actually did clarify that. You're lying about me now, you pussy. I did clarify that you weren't charged with a crime. I said the civil court, the family court, found that you were found domestic violence to have occurred for the support of a restraining order. We've never talked about criminal charges, ever. And I was actually clear on that. It was a finding on why she deserved a protective order. I didn't deny it happened. I mean, you have minimized it several times since, but protective order was dismissed by following what the judge said. You hung your damn hat on that protective order being dismissed, not by following what the judge said, but by suggesting that it was dismissed, as in it didn't happen. Try again, it was dismissed, and I will show the court document tomorrow. Did he tell you I had custody now, and that I have since 2017? Thanks for the tip. Not sure what foundation shade is, but I appreciate the effort you put into tweeting that. I never denied what I did. You've denied what you did several times in DMs to me, Ron. We have video evidence of it. It's right there in the court documents, but people saying I'm convicted of anything is a lie, and Nick knows it. I never said you were convicted of anything. If people misunderstand that, I don't know how to do it, but whatever. No, wife 2 hasn't made a comment. She might, but I'm not sure. We haven't talked in years. Why not, Ron? You have such a good relationship with your referral partner in wife 1. Did you not buy off wife 2? Or does wife 2 not talk to you because you don't have a custody order that she has to deal with? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ron. Are we to infer that you only get favorable treatment when you can leverage your money, something you've flaunted over and over again, over a single mom and her only contact with her son? Wait a minute. Are we to infer that the only reason you've maintained any relationship with wife 1 is Ronnie Jr.? And that you use Ronnie Jr. as a leveraging bar on your ex-wife? No wonder she's a referral partner and so proud of you. What happens if she's not proud of you, Ron? Do you then press for full custody and leverage your considerable income that you brag about against her? That's pretty fucking scummy. That's literally the shit that got the family courts to be the way they are in the first place. Because a man was able to leverage significant assets against a woman, they actually favored women in proceedings to compensate for the disparity in resources. People like you, Ron, you are the reason the family court is messed up. Because you would leverage your power over a lower income woman. But, you know, it is part of the lawsuit, you goon. It's an affidavit sworn under the penalty of perjury. Michelle Speck's email is not considered for the purposes of what's happened in the lawsuit so far. And the fact that Ron doesn't know that is embarrassing. But to be expected. Of course, his lawyers would lie to him about that. Lemoyne's a liar. Wick Phillips are liars. Wick Phillips lied to the court. I have no illusions that Wick Phillips lied to their clients. Cobb says, part of my job is serving depot subs, summonses, etc. Depot subpoenas, I'm guessing you're saying. Summonses, etc. I've served some legal notices on behalf of out-of-state courts, but never a deposition subpoena. Do civil courts allow deposing citizens not in the state by subpoena? The way it works in Minnesota is you would have to nest the subpoena in Minnesota, which means you would have to get permission down in Texas. Then you'd have to bring permission of that to Minnesota to get permission here. Then you would bring it under Minnesota law, and it would be conducted by a Minnesota licensed attorney in following the rules of Minnesota depositions rather than Texas. That's how that would work. Okay. Next, look at how much he tweets. By the way, he has to regain control. I'm out of control. I have to control it. I have to get control. I have to control it. Where's my remote? I need to hit myself. This is Ron. Okay. I was a threat. I was in need of therapy. I haven't denied that once. I'm pressing X to doubt on that, Ron. You've denied it to me. I went to anger management as a requirement of the protective order. Again, as a requirement of the protective order. I'm not afraid to talk about my past. Toxic masculinity is real. Ron, what you had wasn't toxic masculinity. What you did wasn't masculine. What you did was soy-filled beta bitch moves. It's not masculine to threaten your wife after she hangs up on you because presumably you were being a cock gobbler right before she hung up on you. It's not masculine to threaten to murder a judge's children for ruling against you. That's not masculine behavior. That's thug behavior. That's, as Drexel would say, beta bitch move behavior. Men don't act like this. Trash men act like this. Men don't get pissy and bitchy with their wives because they don't have a car. Call a fucking cab, you baby. Grow up. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yeah, sorry. I'm running an errand with my mom and I really can't pick you up right now. Listen, you fucking bitch! You fucking cunt bitch! No! You just go, oh, shit, I'm sorry. I really, really need your help right now. This is kind of frustrating, but I actually need to get a car, so I'll talk to you about this later. Maybe we can work this out. Click. Then you pick up and like, hello Uber, or hello Lyft, or hello taxi cab, or hello National Rent-A-Car, or whatever, and you just fucking handle it. That's what men do. Men handle the situation. We don't call up and threaten to chop up dogs like fucking weirdos. Jesus Christ. Again, if Lady Rackets does something that's annoying to me, but I need to solve a problem, it goes like this. Hey, I need your help. I can't right now. I'm doing X thing. Can you get away? No. I really need you. I'm sorry, I can't. Well, this is a little ridiculous. Okay, well, I need to deal with this thing. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to leave you a 5-minute message threatening and screaming at you. I'm going to deal with it because I'm a man. Click. Pick up the phone. Call the next person where I can expend $50 and deal with whatever problem is going on. Because of course you do that. And then maybe you have a discussion about it later and say, hey, I really, really needed your help. We're partners in this thing. I'm sorry, I couldn't do that. I would love to help you, but this, because that's what happens in partnerships. I wish I could have helped you, but I couldn't today. Oh, maybe you could prioritize me next time. Whatever, you can have your fight in private. Your fight over a voicemail? Like a goddamn fairy that's been jilted? Jesus. And I mean that as a fantasy fairy. That's not a gay slur. Ron is definitely not gay. Because gay men have far more testosterone than Ron Toye. And I was an example of that. That's not toxic masculinity. Actually, Ron, let me be bold. Ron, what you exhibited was toxic femininity. 8 years later, I'm proud of who I've become. Well, at least someone is. What you exhibited was toxic femininity. What you did wasn't masculine in the slightest. It was the opposite. You Karen'd your own wife. You Karen'd your own wife. You took on the feminine approach to dealing with problems, the stereotypical feminine approach to dealing with problems. And you gave it the worst light, making it toxic, right? There's what's the old adage? Women talk, men do. I think is what it is. You screamed and whined and ranted about your problem. You didn't solve anything. And again, I want to make it clear, this is the toxic portion of femininity. It's discussed thoroughly in the psychological research filmography documentary White Chicks. I'm gonna write a letter. Ron, you wrote a letter over voicemail. You didn't accomplish anything. You didn't accomplish your goal. You didn't do shit. You just threatened a woman. You tried to leverage your whatever power you had in the situation over who you perceive to be weaker. That's not masculinity. It's not even toxic masculinity. That's just embarrassing. All right. Again, mischaracterizing me. I clarified all that shit. Sure to some, but to others who have a few brain cells, they can see what time it is. Which of those is the video you say was absolutely coming? Do you realize that claiming one thing and then showing up with another lesser thing diminishes your credibility? Sure to some, but to others who have a few brain cells, they can see what time it is. Ron is suggesting still that the evidence is coming. You already know what evidence Ron is going to show. You already know it. The evidence Ron is going to show is the same evidence Ron has shown forever. Ron is going to show that Vic kissing a chick on the cheek was inappropriate by showing a YouTube video of a chick who consented to the kiss whose dad was in the room. And it's also part of the Tamaki coffee line. That's Ron's receipts. Make no mistake. This is what's coming. It's the exact same shit he's been dealing with forever. Because of course it is. Because if Vic one of the most photographed voice actors on the planet, had done anything ever actually inappropriate, it would be on film. Somebody would have filmed it. Again, I don't know if any of you guys have been to conventions. I know some of you have, but I don't know which specific ones. But if you go to a convention and you see Vic Mignogna, the second he walks by, here's what everybody looks like. Everybody taking film, video, photos, because they want to see. That's why they're there. They're there to see Vic. They're absolutely there to see Vic. So they're going to film it. They're going to video it. If Vic is up with someone in front of a panel, it's on video. I guarantee it's on video. If Vic had ever inappropriately touched someone at one of his signings, it would be on video. Ever. Of course it would. The only allegations that would be even close to credible about Vic would have to be behind closed doors. They would have to be. Because all of the public stuff would be public. I've been with him at conventions. He's always on camera. People took pictures of us smoking a fucking cigar. We're just outside smoking cigars. Took pictures. Tons of pictures. People took pictures of me shaking Vic's hand for the first time I ever saw him at Anime Matsuri. You know why that picture exists? Because there were 200 people in the line. There were 200 people waiting in line to see him. And they go, oh shit, that's that guy from the internet meeting Vic. What's this look like? If Vic got up and talked with Monica, there would be hundreds of fans taking pictures. Of course there would. Every Vic panel's on recording. You can find them on YouTube. It's all there. So this is what Ron's going to come up with, is the same shit he's always come up with. Ron doesn't have anything special. Ron might think he does because he's convinced himself, but we'll see. We'll never see. Like, I shouldn't say we'll see. Ron will never show it because he is a pussy. And what he shows will be the same shit he's already shown. So this person is asking, is wife number one cool with you letting your son get a Tinder account lying about his age? Ron Jr., well, Ron the Fourth, has a Tinder profile in which he claims to be 20 years old. I believe he's 16. Kids do stupid things all the time. I didn't realize that until yesterday when I screenshot a clown on the farms who saved pictures of my underage son on their phone and posted it on there. Both will be dealt with. Let's do this. Let's do this real quickly. Where is it? Hold on. There. 20. Ron 20, Richland College. I love to be sweet to people, so if you're having a bad day and need to be complimented on your beauty, swipe right. Damn, this bio sounds like some neckbeard shit like your dad. But for real, I hope all of you have a good day and you deserve it. I also speak Spanish and Japanese Gemini. They call me Chunky Justin Bieber. So I'd like to be everything you want. So hey girl, let me talk to you. If y'all get that reference, 13-year-old me loves you. I love rock and heavy metal. Deal with it to me, you pussy. Deal with it to me. There you go. There's your 20-year-old Ron Toye. I don't know who that is. 20-year-old Ron Toye. You gonna deal with it? Deal with it. Deal with it. Weirdo. What a fucking loser. Wow, go back and read what you wrote. What did he write? Poor Ron, he doesn't realize that showing a bitter woman hurling ludicrous accusations is different than showing proof of anything Vic did. No, that's true. He's talking about the Michelle Speck thing. Go back and read what you wrote. Also, we've been talking about an affidavit by an ex that has been enough, and that has been enough for you to believe her and label me an abuser. Yet here the exact thing happens to Vic, and you believe him? Double standard much? He didn't deny what she said. Here's the interesting thing, Ron. The affidavit of your wife was unchallenged in a completed criminal action. Or not criminal, family action. Unchallenged affidavit. You've gone ahead and said several times that you did all that, you're terrible, whatever. There you go. What is there to gripe about? Michelle's affidavit hasn't been challenged because it's not the time to challenge her affidavit. Actually, I think they objected to it at just in general, but it's not the time to challenge her affidavit. That would come at trial. Michelle's affidavit isn't part of this entire discussion at all. And it may never be because of you guys. Because of you guys, it may never be. The affidavits are of different character and quality. One of them went unchallenged in a court, and the court ruled in a way that aligned with the affidavit. In the other one, the affidavit wasn't even considered by the court for its ruling. They're very different. I know you don't understand because you're weird. That is your opinion of the situation. You are entitled to it. My answer to this question, no matter what it was, wouldn't change you because you are not looking for truth. You're looking to push a narrative and make statements. Have a great night. Ron, that's literally you. That's you. You've never answered a difficult question against you. Thanks for the tip. Not sure. Oh, wait, we read that one earlier. So the court decided we didn't lie when we stated Vic assaulted Monica and that he's a perverted creep with a predilection for young girls. There are affidavits to prove it. No, the court actually didn't decide that at all. Here's the thing the court decided. The court decided that Vic did not produce enough evidence at TCPA to move past TCPA. And that's it. They didn't give any credibility to your affidavits. They didn't even say you didn't lie. They just said he did not provide sufficient evidence. Again, sorry you don't understand that, but that's what it is. I 100% said everything that is in the court documents. I did exactly what was in the court documents. Yes, she had a voicemail and she recorded me on the porch after I was served papers going back to court for custody stuff. That's where the judge stuff came from. It was childish. Ron, I don't know any children who have threatened to murder the family of a judge. Saphias Crescent says, I watched a panel years ago where Vic helped a fan propose to his girlfriend by having two of them do the coffee line together. It's one of the most wholesome things I've ever seen in a panel at a con. Well, of course. Of course. It wasn't childish, Ron. Children don't act like that. Oh, I will be clear. Storing photos of my underage son, searching for him online will bring consequences. Just this time, I won't make childish threats. You already did, you dumb fuck. Right here. Will bring consequences. I just follow proper procedures and notify who I'm supposed to notify. Notify everybody. Your son made a public Tinder profile, you weirdo. And he lied about his age. You weirdo. Make all the reports you want. Do it. Do it. Whoops. Yep, I would use fear to manipulate and control people. It was stupid and part of the problem. Toxic masculinity. Using fear to manipulate and control people is not toxic masculinity. You don't even understand the definition of the thing you're talking about. And stigma surrounding mental health made me a POS. Ron, you are walking stigma surrounding mental health. But 8 years of dedicated efforts to be better daily helped me become a well-respected person. Use fear to manipulate and control people. Storing photos of my underage son searching for him online will bring consequences. Use fear to manipulate and control people. Storing photos of my underage son searching for him online will bring consequences. Ron sent a snowflake there. Guess who's back again? Oh, Ron. Ron, I never wanted you gone. You lovable little weirdo. Please record the conversation with the cops about how people are storing public photos of your son lying about his age on Tinder. Will do. Good luck explaining having photos of minors stored on your phone. No wonder you associate with Big. Who's liking these? Nivik Kinja. Okay. Please record that. Record it. Send it to me. Once again, you're proving that you don't have jack. Lol, wins. That is exponentially more than what you or they have. But I guess you just want to skip over the underage fan thing in the affidavit filed in court and lawsuit he filed and lost. Again, that affidavit wasn't even addressed by the lower court, you weirdo. Wait, where are we? Oh shit! Quarter pounder! Oh no! Sends out, wife abuser Ron Toye returns to Twitter after the farms found his minor son's grinder on her Twitter profile or whatever. I, for one, am very excited for his return. Oh no! Oh no! Ron, thanks for admitting you were actively searching and Googling for photos of a minor. No wonder you support VIG. Oh. Oh, you idiot. God, you're perfect. Never change, Ron. Never change. Oh. Oh, here we go. Why are you obsessed with Rekieta Media? Why don't you just show up in the chat and talk? It's not that scary. You know he's the one who makes videos about anything I do, right? Not anything. God, Ron, I have left so much material on the table. I should make nothing but videos about you. But I can't keep up. I can't keep up. I wish I could. You're too prolific. So saying I am as obsessed is hilarious. Your boy is simping over my every move. Oh, God, I wish. Ron, I 100% simp for your tweets or whatever. Simp away. It's creepy and yet flattering. It brings the magnifying glass back on the details in the failed lawsuit he helped file. God, I wish I would have helped file it. Fuck me. Put my name on the lawsuit. That would have been great. Jesus. I would have gotten paid from that sweet GoFundMe money. Oh. Do you guys know? Like, imagine what I could have done. Think about this. Instead of doing live streams and all that stuff, imagine rather I just worked on the lawsuit for like $400, $500 an hour. Fuck me. I would have spent more time on that lawsuit than anybody else by a mile. I probably did. I probably did spend more time than anybody else on that lawsuit already. Imagine if I was billing $400 an hour for it. Holy shit. I would have drained the GoFundMe by myself. Remember, that Ron Toye says that I simp for everything he does. His first tweet is responding to my joke. When a man loves a woman, she better not fucking hang up. He give his whole life just for a call. Automata says, by this logic, doesn't that mean that Ron thinks the affidavit saying Vic Locks has been proven true, despite the video of Jamie that surfaced with her telling the story of how it was an auditionee and not Vic that prompted them? Ron can't be held accountable for his actions. He's the dumbest person on earth. All right, let's get back to this. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna retweet that live because that's funny. Ron Toye. Oh wait. Fanimation. What respect from everyone whose opinion matters. Okay. Better than an F? Thank you. Wait. Just a regular guy has been with his wife for 15 years, married for nearly 10, no court documents, no domestic issues. But I watched a train wreck of your life, dude. You score pretty low. I'd give you a D- in the human decency scale. Better than an F, thank you. Look, you're a step above literally Hitler. Okay, sorry. Offensive Dragon. If you were an adult, you'd know how to read. Tell me what exactly the red flag you're trying to paint. What is this? Okay. Yeah. I did. If you were an adult or even in charge of hiring, you would know this is a red flag. If you were an adult and you would know how to read, tell me what exactly is the red flag you're trying to paint. If a normal person is asked why they were fired for being inappropriate, they would say absolutely. If they were fired for being inappropriate, they would say absolutely not. Without question, no. You didn't even establish that he was fired, you weirdo. You asked him if he was fired or not, and if he was, would he remember it? And he said, yeah, I would. Failed. Someone who has a guilty conscience and knows someone spoke up, well, it was 30 years ago, is creepy. Only for you, Ron. Literally only for you. Ron is better than O.J. Simpson, and Ron is above Epstein. I'm not convinced of either of those propositions. Artist formerly known as Princess of Toye says, it's not illegal to have photos of your kid on their phone. Are they nude photos? If not, there's no problem. Just having photos or information is not illegal, though. Unless they're trying to do something that is illegal with it, the cops won't do anything. Get help. This is not healthy thought process, but your account is noted. No! No, Ron, no! Oh, damn it. It's disgusting and beyond creepy. If anyone reading this thinks it's okay, please get help. This is not a healthy thought. He is a minor. There's no reason to search for minor 0. Is he a minor? Says he's 20. How old is he? By the way, Ron searches for minors. Guaranteed. Guaranteed Ron searches for minors online. Ron, hold this message just for you. I don't know what this says, but I beat his ass, lol. Ron, you didn't even show up to the hearing. Ron, they quarantined you away from the hearing because you're an embarrassment to humanity. I got so far under his skin he lost his mind. I'm going to go to the judge. Judge, you're a little bee. If you knew what you were doing, you would be up here looking. You wouldn't be up here looking like a fool. Go sit down, Ty. Or Ty Skull. I have to say this. I'm contractually obligated by my GoFundMe obligations and secret contract with Vic and Ty to defend Ty here. The judge flat out said to Ty, stop standing up, and in brackets, and objecting. That is one of the most improper things I've ever heard a judge say. And look, I had a judge take me back in chambers and yell at me because my client wouldn't lie for him. Let me restate that. I had a judge in Minnesota take me into chambers and yell at me because my client wouldn't fucking lie. If you think judges are at all good people, get over it. Judges are flatly retarded. They are terrible. They're just like everybody else on the planet. I had a judge who not only brought me in chambers to yell at me for my client not lying, he, without obviously doing it, asked me to get my client to lie on the record. A judge in Minnesota asked an attorney in Minnesota in chambers to get his client to lie on the record. Fuck judges. They're just people. And they don't want to work just as hard as you don't. If you're at an Aldi or a Target or a Walmart or a whatever, Kroger, and you're like, God damn it, I don't want to lift this brisket up onto the 5th shelf up. I'm going to just put it on the low shelf and it'll be mislabeled as a pork shoulder. I don't care because whoever picks it up is going to read the actual price tag anyway. So why should I lift this 12-pound thing up to the top shelf? The judges do the same thing. Did I get my client to lie? Hell no. Oh my God, no. They're just judges. Judges are just people. They're just workers, just like everybody else. Their job just has some import to it. But Judge Chup, now I've had a judge do that. Judge Chup telling Ty to stop objecting on behalf of his client is worse. That's worse. Because a judge, listen, let's paint the reality here. The judge wanted my client to lie under oath to make life easier on me and my client. Okay? My client lying under oath would be much easier in the situation we were in. It would have been fantastically simple for my client to stand up and lie under oath. And it would have been beneficial to my client, to me, to the court, and to the prosecution. All of that would have been great. Fantastic thing. Okay? But I said, Judge, I can't do that. My client is telling you the truth. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. We have to do another thing. We have to get there another way. All right? I'm not going to advise my client to lie. That was my response because I'm an attorney and fuck the judge anyway. But let's be honest. The judge wanted to help me and my attorney and himself get out of there quicker. All right? Telling Ty to stop objecting is to tell an attorney to stop effectively representing your client. And Judge Chup should almost be disciplined for that. And I don't say that lightly, but that is almost a disciplinable offense to me, especially. You don't tell an attorney to stop representing their client. Ever. That's disgusting. Because you're asking the attorney to commit an ethics violation. Don't do the job you have to do. Bad Vibes makes a great point. Ron has videos of minors on his phone that he searched or others searched for. Ron, you've posted them on the Kiwi Farms. You disgusting pedo. You nasty, nasty child abuser. You searched for children's videos involving Vic, and you posted them on the Kiwi Farms. You posted them to me in direct messages. You are disgusting and should maybe be looked into by the cops, according to your own standard. Thanks for pointing that out, Bad Vibes. All right. Ron is now replying with gifts. Which is just unfortunate. Ron is replying with the remote control. Because he doesn't deflect or minimize the fact that he beat a woman with a remote control at all. Remember that. I don't know what this tweet was. It says, but it points towards a diminished reputation. Reason for public concern destroys their case. A private email from Michelle to Vic that took place after all of the damage happened to Vic isn't a diminished reputation. Just so you know. I don't know why he's walking away for a corner kick. I don't get it. Go to the corner and think about what you've done. Oh, okay. This one, you can't just project your own guilt onto another person. He said, of course, to the question. He also remembered when he worked there. He only remembers the place, not any acts. That's pretty weird, right? Ron, no, it isn't. I would without question be able to say I've never been fired for being inappropriate with a female at any job in my life. Actually, Ron, unless you've never been fired, you can't say that without question. He couldn't remember if he had been fired for that saying, well, it was 30 years ago, meaning there's a chance. He couldn't remember if he'd been fired or let go or if he'd been let go or just left 30 years ago. But he also said if he was fired for interactions with a minor, he would have remembered. You're actively misinterpreting what he said because, Ron, you're a liar. So is your fat fucking fiance who lies to you about her own weight loss. I'm down to 280, Ron. Sprite Cola says, let's get one thing straight. Ron is incapable of beating anyone without his signature weapon, the remote control. Suiting for a narcissist. Here's Ron allegedly bragging about his income again, I'm guessing. Oh, wait, he's responding to, nice job, Shiny Star Silver. You got him to use an emoji. Telling sign that the garden implement is triggered. Looking forward to the money Rekieta Media is going to make off of you. Oh, no, this is right. Good job. Good job, Ron. You haven't changed. Go read his ex-fiance's affidavit. There's an email chain attached to it. That alone is enough evidence before we even talk about his own testimony or other affidavits. You know, I didn't even put together before today that the Michelle Speck's emails happened all after all of the damage. So they literally can't be, they're not relevant. They're not relevant to any of the claims, and they should be excluded immediately. And if this case does get kicked down, I'm guessing they will argue that. Well, there isn't a lack of evidence. There was plenty. That's why we are 17. No, that's not why. Well, the lack of evidence is why you are 17-0. Judge Chupp said it wasn't enough. Will the appeals court agree? We'll find out. We'll find out. Well, that's something to me. I don't know what that is. Not a single bit of doubt he is a creep, and I am 100% sure Monica told the truth along with the other people who turned in affidavits supporting the fact he is a creep. Ron, did you ever ask Monica? Did you ever ask Monica why she never told you about Vic despite going and hugging and kissing him? Ron, while you were engaged to Monica, she hugged and kissed and spent time alone with a man who allegedly assaulted her. Did you ever toxic masculinity ask your personal fucking fiance why she would willingly and often go spend time with a man who assaulted her, hug him, kiss him, hang out with him, go to dinner with him. Did you ever ask that? Listen, if my wife told me that someone assaulted her and she went and hugged and kissed that person and spent time with them, I'd have a lot of fucking questions. Do you? Do you have some voicemails that are going to come out in a Monica affidavit in a couple years when she files a restraining order? You degenerate weirdo. Go read the court documents. There's an affidavit you'll find interesting. A meme or a GIF or whatever. Go read it. I gave you a head start. Hopefully once you start reading, you'll educate yourselves versus regurgitate Nick's sputum. I do not put sputum out there, sir. I only put semen out. No, I said I slapped her on the thing. It means thigh. Imagine standing up and throwing the remote in a downward motion like a little bee. That is what happened. It was stupid and a bad reaction, clearly toxic. Oh, wait. Slapping her on the thigh with a remote is not the same as throwing a remote. I inherently don't believe what you said. It doesn't say anything in those documents about throwing the remote in a downward motion. You hit her with it. You hit her with it. Why are you lying? Why are you minimizing what you did? Yeah, that is bad. So you're saying she's lying about how you struck her? No, she's telling the truth. I'm adding detail for visual effects. Not sure how I can be clearer. By not lying. I'm saving that art. It is really good. Isn't that the Ethan Van Sciver? I think so. Thank you for making it for me. I will be happy to reuse it. God, look at this. He responds like a child. What's your favorite MHA, DB Super, Shimonetta, and the Saga of Tanya the Evil? Okay. That's it. That's it. All right. BTL Video Productions, welcome to Super Lawyer Status. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. Whew. Okay. All right. Those are all ones that Monica's in. Oh my God. Why would you like your wife's voice work? Have you heard her voice? It's shrill, it's gross, it's childish, it sounds like lolly porn. Disgusting. Ugh. Okay, let's do this, guys. I'm gonna read super chats. We're gonna be done, and then we'll do a watch party. Probably only one movie tonight. I'm dying of fatigue today. Fiance, damn it! Oh no! I keep saying wife. Keep saying wife. It's clearly a fiance. All right, we're gonna do chats. We're gonna wrap up the show. Thank you for hanging with my drunk self tonight. God, Ron's embarrassing. I don't know what to do about him. Do you guys I've been really toying around throwing in daytime streams. We'll get the vest out like Phil. I've been really toying in throwing in daytime streams. Just sort of fun stuff. Maybe on the alternate channel or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if you guys want just more random content. It would not be planned at all. But thinking about it, I'll let you know. BTL Video Production says, anyone else not been getting notifications from Nick's channel? Dude, it's rampant right now. I must have done something to piss YouTube off. Proper. My short videos are not getting distributed in the way that they normally would. My live streams are getting no notifications, ratioed into oblivion. It's shit. The YouTube search and discovery algorithm hates my channel. I don't know what I did. I really don't. I do all the things right for YouTube, but they just kick my ass. So, whatever. I mean, what do you do? There's nothing you can do about it, but yeah. Oh, and workouts going well with nutritionists, psychologists, and bariatric surgery. Full paid by insurance company is getting closer. Gotta aim to be the best. That is the right attitude, buddy. Get it. Get it. Go get it. I will share my short video on Twitter. It was just so close to the live stream, I didn't want to do it. I'll probably share it tomorrow morning. Something like that. BTL Video Productions was unsubscribed. Look, I can't say this enough, guys. YouTube randomly unsubscribes my viewers. They just do. Go ahead and check. If you are not getting notifications or whatever, it's very, very possible that YouTube unsubscribes you. I talk about this every now and then, but I try not to too often. I don't like to whine. I really don't. I really don't. But YouTube has made growth very hard for certain content creators. Usually once every 2 months or so, I go through about a 3-week period called subscriber burn. Colloquially called subscriber burn. Now, I have a YouTube partner. I have, listen, I have a literal guy I have meetings with who works at YouTube and talks about YouTube business shit with me. And I talked to him about subscriber burn, and he told me to my face that it doesn't happen. And I said, listen, I get an email for every subscriber, ever. And I can go through the past week of emails, this was at the time, and I can show you a person subscribing to my channel 5 times over the course of like 4 months. That means they subscribed to my channel, then were unsubscribed, or they chose to unsubscribe and then resubscribe 5 times for the same person. And I could do this with 10 people right now because I checked, right? And he said, that's impossible. YouTube doesn't do that. I said, they clearly do that. They've done it. Unless you're going to tell me this person thought it useful to subscribe to my channel, unsubscribe, then subscribe again, unsubscribe again, resubscribe, unsubscribe again, resubscribe, unsubscribe one more time, and then resubscribe today. You're going to tell me that that is the more rational answer than YouTube is randomly removing people. And he said, I don't know anything about that. That's weird. Our subscriber removal algorithm should only remove inactive accounts. I'm like, these people are watching videos and getting unsubscribed after the live stream. He said, I don't know. I don't know about that. So I believe him. He's a good guy. He actually is. I believe that YouTube doesn't actually tell all of their employees what they do. But let me just suggest, if you're a viewer, you got to check. I hate talking about this. I really do. You got to check after every live stream and see if you're subscribed. Now, right now, today, I'm not in subscriber burn. I'm not. I just went through it a week and a half ago, I think it was. And a week and a half ago, my subscribers, which, let's talk a little inside baseball. On YouTube, when you get to a certain size, your subscribers go like this. You gain 1 to 3 subscribers a day. Eventually, you get up to like quartering size, right? You're gonna gain like 30, 40, 50 subscribers a day. And unless you fuck up, those subscribers are not going to cancel their subscription. Because why? Why would they? Even if they stop watching your videos, it's really an act of specific intent to go and unsubscribe from someone. And most people don't. Most people don't do that. Okay? So, put this out there. Week and a half ago, I went through subscriber burn, and that was I think it was 5 weeks this time, where growth goes from this thing to this thing, flat, where you lose subscribers. Every time you publish a video or a live stream, you lose like 20 subscribers. And then over the course of the next day or two, you'll gain them back. You might lose 1 or 2, but over the course of a month, you'll have a net growth of like 10 subscribers, where normally you have growth of 10 subscribers every day or two at my channel size. But every couple months, YouTube does this. And I should talk about it more. I'm bad. I'm a bad pitch man, even for myself. But if you're not getting notifications, just give a look and see if you're subscribed. Because I will tell you that people who regularly watch the show do get unsubscribed during periods of subscriber burn. It just happens. I don't know if YouTube's trying to do it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But it does happen. So, if you could check from time to time, just make sure you're still subscribed. Thank you. That's all I'll say on it. That being said, EVS and Richard Lewis, the esports reporter, both mentioned similar things. Yeah. I don't even know if it's viewpoint based. I don't know if it's like me or if they just do this to channels and the algorithm is just a cocksucker, but it does it. It does it. Every so often it just does. Look, and I only mention this if you want the notifications, if you like these watch parties, just check. Just check. That's it. Okay. All right, let's do these things, and then we're still gonna do a movie tonight. I'm not sure what movie yet. Might be a combination of schlocky and good. Maybe we'll watch Sliver with Sharon Stone. Ooh. Sharon Stone. Oh my goodness. Jay donated and said, Ron, quote, there will be retributions. Toye states he has changed. Then goes on to make a new Twitter account with the sole purpose of controlling others in their comments. It's the same thing he's done multiple times in the past year. He is still in denial. Yeah, he is broken. Ethical dilemma. Says, hey, Nick, I'd like to give a shout out to the hard bastard. Oops. I mean the soft gentleman. Check out his ANAS approved news from authoritative sources. The soy milk not in a can runs strong. So drop by, check out and give him a thumbs up. His ANAS. God damn it. Not an abusive POS says, get a load of this fucking chump using a motivational quote as his Twitter banner. Get the fuck out of here, you little weevil. Real talk, I'm getting ahead, but if this comes back on appeal, can Ron's subsequent tweets and interviews come back to haunt him? Yes! Yes, absolutely. He's an idiot for doing any of them. That's why I don't interview Ron. That's why I don't interview Ron, because I try not to interfere with people's lawsuits. I really don't want my show to have any impact on the actual lawsuit. That's why I don't interview Ron. But yes, his interviews and tweets could absolutely come back to haunt him. If it comes back. Chengiz Khan says, yes, with Ron back on Twitter, we can have proper emphasis on proper conversations again. Now sing the chorus and at the high note of Take on Me in Ron's voice, Rackets. You can add Lemon background vocals too if you want. Take on me. Take on me. Take me on. Take on me. I'll be gone. I don't even remember the words. Chad Ochocinco says we should start making the distinction between male and a man. I'm sick of men being blamed with toxic masculinity for this soy beta behavior. Ron is a violent bitch. Men know how to act even when wronged. Correct. Fang says, I read this. Is this legal? I'll talk about this tomorrow. I think this is about Patricia McCloskey's pistol being non-operative and the district attorney just deciding to make it operative and then charge them. That's great. It's fantastic. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow on the live stream. I meant to get to it today, but I'm dying. OJ Chadson says, remember, if Vic is a sexual predator for hugging fans and kissing them on the forehead, then Ron is a violent wife beater for tapping his wife on the leg with a remote. This is a fair representation according to you, Ron. Eat shit. No, Ron's a wife beater even if Vic isn't inappropriate. Test Not on Holiday says, it's illegal to have pictures of minors on your phone. Well, shit, son. Guess I better get rid of all those old photos of myself. Burn every yearbook I own while I'm at it, too. Of course, it's not illegal. It's not illegal. That is the stupidest thing Ron said in a while. Matt the Beast. This is a good one. It says, for the last time, the Soye Boye Toye. We read and or listen to all of it. We've already done everything you keep telling us to do. It has convinced us that you and yours are lying. You parroting, it can't change that. Show new receipts, Boye Toye. Oh, wait, no. You are lying. You parroting it. You parroting it can't change that. There we go. Show new receipts, Boye Toye. I did not mean to disparage you with a Ron voice. I apologize. Test Not on Holiday says, Ron likes Shimonetta. That's an anime about an underage girl, Jamie Markey, who gets naked and wants to shove a dildo up her ass all day. The chick Monica voices is also underage and has a piss fetish. I was 17 when I watched it, but Ron has to be in his 30s at minimum. Ron is a degenerate, disgusting, probable pedo. I mean, I don't have any evidence that Ron has pedoed anyone, but I'm going to guess based on his behavior that he's likely pedophilic. Mario Carter 13 says, evade taxes by getting arrested before deadline. Thumbs up. Polyfrog64 says, Derek wouldn't have a chance to get off if they didn't go for murder 2. They wouldn't go after him for taxes unless they feel they'll lose the case. Maybe. Nell says, DSP keeps winning. He can't keep getting away with it. Look, I have zero beef with DSP. And I really, really want him to come on the show. Because I think he's got an interesting and very unique perspective about 10 years of content and being toxic. And I want to talk to him about those. So, here's hoping. Esis Donich Dom says, had to do a midterm for my civil aviation law class. Remembering all your talk about torts saved me loads of times. Take this 5 as thanks. Hey, you're welcome. The Sean233 says, what are the chances for you to stream Ghosts of Tsushima? I don't have a PS4, so until it comes out on PC officially, not high. Polyfrog64 says, thoughts on Epstein judge hit, case cleanly closed. It's amazing, right? Like that we have in the open judges' families being assassinated by elites. Everybody's like, well, maybe it was the cartels, though. It was the elites. It was the elites. It was the billionaires, not the cartels. Cartels don't kill judges. You know why cartels don't kill judges? 1, cheaper to buy a judge than kill a judge. 2, 2, if you kill a judge, you bring heat down on the cartel. It was the fucking elites who have no consequences. Of course it was. Super Alfredo 64 says, wow, Ron is back. Has he tried to smug you on any DM? Not yet. I'm guessing it's coming. If you can call his spouting nonsense smug anyways, if so, please share. Look, I never kiss and tell except when I do. I will not reach out to Ron Toye, but if he reaches out to me, I will talk to him as I always do. Polyfrog says, any updates on Peaceful Jogger case? Not right now. Davey Croco 3 has sent a super chat, but nothing attached to it. Thank you so much, Davey. Hope you're doing well, good buddy. Agrilist says, you don't check Discord DMs. What's the best way to get the stamps to you? If you post the video therefore and the stamps in Discord, I will add them to the description of the video and credit you properly in the video. That makes sense? I hope so. Polyfrog64 says, if they make you use phone, how do you talk to lawyer? You don't. You if you're in a glass, like the glass enclosures, I've done this with clients. You're in a glass face-off thing. You don't want to divulge what you're saying to the cops. You write it down on the piece of paper and you slide it through the little slot that they can look at it. They write something down. They slide it back. If you can't do that, you don't talk to your lawyer about anything substantive unless you're out of the jail. And now you can go to the hearing and have a meeting with your lawyer many times. There's nothing that pressing you need to talk to the lawyer about. You can talk to them later. They know. They already know. Or you can talk in vagaries. Say, hey, look at this tax thing for me. That's it. Rich Meister. Oh, wait. Polyfrog says, I need that money. I do. Thanks for the money, dummy. Rich Meister 84 says, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's. Zephael sent a red thumbs up. Thank you so much. Polyfrog says, the cops were under the impression he was exhibiting excited delirium syndrome. People in that state are extremely dangerous. I suffered a drug OD back in 2014. I was in that state and they pinned me down. Look, they didn't at the time. This is important. At the time of the detention of George Floyd, they did not express any indication that he was exhibiting excited delirium syndrome. And that's important. None of them said, hey, this guy's got the symptoms of excited delirium. Anywhere that I've seen. It's not in any transcript that I've seen. It's not in any video that I've seen. Coming out later and applying a medical diagnosis retroactively is less useful than you think. And by the way, I highly doubt a cop in the field diagnosed this guy with excited delirium. I really don't think that happened. We'll see how the courts go, though. Maybe the courts decide he was under excited delirium. That's a possibility. I don't think they will. I really, really don't think they will. And I don't see any evidence in the record to support that the cops thought that at the time. Polyfrog says, I cleaned up my life but still have depression. Buddy, I am really glad you cleaned up your life. I'm sorry that you still have depression. That shit sucks. I know from firsthand experience dealing with depression a couple times in my life, and critical times in my life. And if you ever need someone to talk to about that, please DM me. Happy to chat. Bad Vibe says, off topic, COVID governor response and stimulus is a move to get the union voters away from Trump, in my opinion. Look, bring on the stimulus. I want all the government bucks they'll give me. Governor Walz can eat a cock for all of the mask requirements. But in reality, will it affect my day? No. All of the stores I go to already implemented private mask requirements. So now having the governor, put a petty misdemeanor on it. I may now go to a store with a mask on and take it off just to get charged because fuck you, Walls. Batgoat says, Nick versus Jeremy drink contest. I pay fat stacks to see that. God, that'd be fun. I really do want to go visit Jeremy at his house and hang out with him, drink there. I think that'd be way more fun than doing a remote drinking contest. And then I will similarly invite Jeremy to my house to come have a second drinking contest with me. So, this is not one-sided. Not one-sided. Some nobody says, you'll always just be the third Ron and worst Ron. Polyfrog says, wasn't charged, but I was committed. Great stream. Thanks, buddy. I'm glad you weren't killed. Magnus Borson says, hey, look at that. Your subscribe star has been approved. Oh, I forgot to mention it. Damn it. God damn it. My subscribe star is approved. Go check out subscribestar.com/Rekieta Media. Rekieta Law. What is it? Let me check. Rekieta Law on Subscribestar. You can join on Subscribestar for Rekieta Law. I have 9 subscribers so far. They found it before I announced it. I'm really happy about that. Thank you guys for doing that. Either you were... Wait. I don't know if this is either. I don't know if it's that limited. You were maybe a new Project 2 subscriber who's not been able to reel yourself back into the black hole that is my Discord. Subscribestar is the option. Or you just hate Patreon. Subscribestar is the option. Or you're a new subscriber and hate Patreon. Subscribestar is your option. It is there. It is finally up and running. Thank you. Sprite Cola says, isn't getting action, drugs, rock and roll, the appeal to being a rock/movie star, or other positions not unlike the Kardashians asking for a friend? It absolutely is. Think about what you give up. You give up your privacy. Even me, like a ZZZ list celebrity, right? I'm going to be doxxed. Already been mostly doxxed by the Kiwi Farms. Whatever. Happens. You're going to be doxxed. Everything you say in public will be scrutinized, recorded, and archived. Everything you have ever said in public can and might be used against you in the court of public opinion. The trade-off for that is you get to bang a chick or two here or there. That's why people do it. Now, for me, obviously, only interested in lady rackets. I'm not interested in anybody else. Don't even try. Don't care. But that being said, if I were single, would I be happily utilizing my newfound attention to try and talk to women in a way that I wasn't able to before? Sure, of course. That's what it's for. That's what celebrity is for men. So, okay. Man, I have to urinate, by the way. Cemetery Lady says, funny how they ignore all the video evidence of other voice actors behaving badly. Only Vic is being held to their Puritan standards, of course. Of course he is. Some nobody says, well, at least Ron 4 will never reproduce. Damn. Eggs Benedict sent a couple chats in a row. 3 in a row. It says, hey, Nick in chat. I'm not very good asking for help, but I know we have an amazing base here, and I thought I'd try. I'm trying to finish my bachelor's in hospitality management, studying abroad in Japan, focusing on international tourism. Due to COVID, I lost over half my savings. More details, my GoFundMe at Tony's Japanese Studies Fund. Tony's Japanese Studies Fund GoFundMe. Thanks again and much love. Hey, Tony, I wish you well in that. I really do. I don't know if this is a helpful super chat for you, but tell you what, I will personally donate to your Japanese Studies Fund, and I hope you're able to finish your bachelor's degree and move on. GoFundMe. Is this it? I don't know if this is it. Anthony Carsko. Maybe that's it. I'll donate to it after the show. Tony, or Eggs Benedict, if you're Anthony Karsko, if that's you, send me a DM or an email and I'll donate to it. But I want to make sure it's actually yours. Oh, it's yours? Okay, I'll donate to it after the show. Kalinka Pavlova says, Nick's done some swears, so I shall redress the balance again. Also, Ron, you've never expressed toxic masculinity because you ain't masculine. See you on Twitter. You're not. You're not. Kalinka also says, I wouldn't give Ron an F because F is to pay respects. So he gets the D-. And Ron loves the D. Brian Natarin says, Nick, you're a good man. I mean this sincerely. I feel like you care more about Ron's son than he does. I absolutely do. I think Ron's a monster. And I wish his dad was more concerned with dealing with him than he is concerned dealing with the internet dealing with him. Hunter says, Ron got his Twitter back. No, he got a new one. Also, have you heard about Say No to Rage? No. Say No to Rage sounds terrible to me. TLJ Screwjob says, I'm down to 280, Ron. Lemoyne is Monica. Yes. Andrew War Snowboard says, toxic femininity equals toxic masculinity. BTL Video Production says, WTF, I was unsubscribed. Angry Hydralist says, please hit like. It helps Nick's engagement stats. It does. It does. I'm bad at shilling those, but please hit like. BTL Video Production says, the day we can finally hold social media, including YouTube, accountable for free speech censorship is the day I'll believe in God. Perfect Medicine says, Toye has taken rectal cranial inversion disorder too far. By the way, I still get notifications normally. Late to the stream due to playing a lot of Bloodborne. Really had to step away from reality. Do it. Escapism is escape. That video is coming. Escapism is escape. Bad Vibe says, notice you didn't buffer for Neon Neck, but your stream needed Drano for Portland Fed issue. Rhinoceros Rex says, reminder, Halo Infinite gameplay showcase today. Check out Rhinoceros Rex for that Halo Infinite gameplay showcase. Andrew War Snowboard says, Ron says his talent is I love to work. Shadows King 101 says, I only ever go jogging with the Galmaraz. No! Stop! Biden the Cold One says, thanks for making me spend all that money on Twitch. Lol, you're good though. Perfect. And then Mercenary X says, Ron better hope he never ever meets up with me. I would never do anything inappropriate, mind you, but hypothetically speaking, if he came near me with a remote in hand, I guess my 6 years of martial arts would kind of kick in. I have to assume deadly intent, of course. Very good. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to put on the... let's put on this outro, and I'll see you on Twitch for a watch party. Should be a fun time. Have a good night. Peace. Peace. Oh, goddammit. Bad Vibe says, I wonder if Toye and defendants are watching the Depp versus Hurt case and are scared as fuck being questioned on the stand. Hoping we see that. That's a train wreck waiting to happen. Don't forget the shitty Media Men lawsuit, which I'll be covering soon. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
But you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along with his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight. We'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an ardbeg, a bow, more a love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get on your Lord. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're lost his career. So pour out an art bag of balm or a Lafroig. Spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea. Post on Twitter as we hear Lost Blaming tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the wrong better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the wrong.
Why are you still here? Go to Twitch. Oh my God, go to Twitch. Ah!